especially if you're new to Mythics.
I have to work on that opening. It was
I love it.
It should have taken us out of the thing, but it didn't. It kept us in the picture. It was supposed to like put us in the backstage, and then
I love how you have the stained glass window for a Sunday.
Yes. Let's try it again. Let's try this again, man. I worked hard on this opening, man. Hey Joe, let's I'm gonna put us both backstage, and I'm gonna restart officially the New to Mythic Live opening. So I'm gonna tuck us back into the backstage.
Please, friends, let's sit for a spell, and we'll weave common threads of conversation in the community that brings us together, especially if you're new to Mythics.
Okay, welcome, friends. Still figuring things out. I had a new start for the New to Mythic Live shows every other Sunday morning, and I'm still working on the beginning part. Not quite working how I wanted to. StreamYard's kind of tricky. I'm joined today. My co-host is Mr. Michael Casper. Please welcome Michael to the stage. Welcome, sir.
Thank you for having me, buddy.
I appreciate you, man. Michael is the half of Legion's Lair, one of the longest running shows. You were just telling me it was one of the first.
Yeah, we just finished up the third season, and man, I don't have the numbers in front of me. We will hit 100 episodes early next August. So we'll have a special show where we ask people to do videos again. That was a fun show at 50 episodes. But yeah, 3 years. I think it was obviously Mythic Conversations, Legion's Lounge, then us. But of course, before you had Legion's Cast, well before that, they were doing it. Legion's Cast started up, probably a year or two before that. So yeah, we were one of the first ones.
Now, had you and Brad ever done anything like this before? Like,
no, it was weird because I've always loved action figures, and when I found out about Mythic Legions and the Four Horsemen, I became like a super fan. I was like, these are the best action figures on the market. Well, I went to a toy store one day. Brad and I hadn't seen each other for probably 10, 12 years.
Oh, wow.
When he left the sheriff's office. So I walked into a toy store where he lived in his area up in Akron. And there he was. I'm like, what's up, dude? And so we were talking about the toys and all that. And I said, dude, there's this line you've got to check out. And he was kind of resistant to it at first. And then he went into an in-stock sale, got me a Torgan, got himself a Purplor and a Chronaw. And dude, it was done for him once he got those figures in hand.
Where did he get them from? Do you remember where?
Store Horseman.
Oh, Store Horseman.
Yeah, in-stock sales. When the in-stock sales were crazy.
I love those in-stock sales, man. I love those.
Well,
Did they let you Well, did they back then? Did they let you know ahead of time, like, hey, in 2 weeks we're gonna have an in stock sale and tell you what it's gonna
Yeah,
be?
they would let you know ahead of time, but it was crazy because when you got on, it just it would just think when you tried to check out, and it took forever. You didn't know what was going
Stressful.
to be taken out of your cart, what wasn't. Were any figures going to be left? Uh, so yeah, and I want to say that was five years ago, five
Mm,
plus. Yeah, now it's pretty cake.
mhm.
They perfected their craft, man.
Right,
Comes to
right.
that.
I still
But
stress out because I mean, things sell out, especially like those
they do.
warehouse finds.
Yeah.
Um, like my buddy Brian Carr. I was working and also a little cash poor for that when they had the Headless Horseman, the first retail, they had the warehouse find, and I guess there was just a couple, so he was able to grab me one. But I had talked to Diego after that, and he's like, I think we had like 3 or 4. Like, so I mean, those things like that, they sell out like laser quick. It's almost like if there's something that's super rare, grab it and check out. You're gonna pay double shipping, but if you really want that item, you might you know just bite the
I'm
bullet.
I'm I think that's left me now. I've got the collection, all the cosmics that are out, the Mythic. I got the Gothotropolis, birds, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm at the point where I know I'll be able to get any new figures that come out. I mean, there was one. There was that Skull Man. If I didn't get it through Zolicon, that was pretty hard to get on Store
Oh
Horse.
man,
I think that was gone in a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Yeah.
I
So
want to talk about that too. That I'll let you go. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's something that I'm really
So
interested in.
really the only one I'm concerned about is the scapular version 2 test shot. I'm probably going to have to reach out to the community for help on that one because when those test shots come out, boom, they're gone. They're gone.
Oh man, so quick. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
and as
quick.
you see on my wall, you see there's scapular on my wall behind me over my
Mhm.
shoulder. And there's just an empty box where the version 2 scapular will go.
So
And
it's in waiting, like it's gonna happen.
and then on the opposite wall, I have a placeholder for the test shot. And then I have a placeholder for Caspar from Armies of Ashmore. That
Mhm.
will go on the wall. Yeah.
For people that don't know, Mike was given the honor of being named. The tribute is the scapular, right? It's is named after you.
Amir Kaspar, his not scapular himself, of course, and scapular is scapular, but I'm his uh, disguise, basically.
Right,
I am him, but in disguise.
right. And that version 2, man,
Yeah.
is a
Oh,
beautiful,
you know
beautiful thing.
what? You asked me to do a top 10 for the figures that we got in hand this year. It was hard for me because this wasn't 2024 was a very unassuming year. It
Mhm.
was a year, the figures that came out, obviously every Legion is awesome and I'd love to have one on my shelf. It wasn't a year that blew me away.
Mhm.
Uh, I'm anticipating Necronominus All Star 6, Red Sun or Rising Suns. Um, those, oh my God. So 2025, 2026 are going to be huge,
Yes, right,
huge for, a top 10
right.
list. And it's funny because most people do their top 10 list based off of figures we got in hand.
Mhm.
On the lair, we always do it based on what was released that year for pre-orders.
Okay.
Even if you got it into your hand, like Skeleton Legion Builder 2. essentially solicited last year, so it counts even though we got it in our hand.
Right. Yeah. I kind of gave you the stipulation of like in hand because it's good. I mean, all mythics are good, but like in hand, you can be really judgmental. Like, hey, this figure looks good, but this part is kind of, it's not working right, or it doesn't stand properly or whatever. And that's kind of how I grade the figures or judge the figures. I try to be impartial. I try to be, have a harsh eye when it comes to that, even though, I try to be non-biased when I judge.
Well, and you and I are opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to what we like in the line. I mean, total opposite ends. You love the 2.0 female figures. I do not. I love the 1.0 barbarian skeleton type figures. So that, this show should give us a pretty good perspective.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So how did you come about like learning about the line? How did you find out about the Four Horsemen and all that? Like,
so it was Masters of the Universe Classics. So when I grew up, it was Star Wars. I grew up, early or late 70s, early 80s when it came to action figures. So it was Star Wars. It was Motu, Masters of the Universe. And then right on the edge of that would have been Transformers. Your first season of Transformers, first couple waves of Motu, first wave of Transformers. And then, of course, all of, 77, 80, and 83 when it came to Kenner and Star Wars. So the first wave of Motu in 82 is probably my favorite toy line ever. And I saw they came out with a merman in Masters of the Universe Classic. I was way late to the show. I didn't know who the Four Horsemen were. Got the figure. I was like, this is amazing. And I wanted to go back and get all the figures from that wave in the Motu Classics version. So I did that. But I also did my research on the guys who sculpted that for Mattel, Four Horsemen. And I soon found that.
Just keep talking. Go ahead. Keep talking. Yeah.
Yep. I soon found that there was Keltis and Adamon out there. And as soon as I saw those figures, I'm like, I got to have those. I got to have those. But as you know, those figures are redunculous. So I bought a Skeleton Legion builder, pre-ordered some of the Wasteland Wave. When I got the Skeleton Legion builder from the first Kickstarter in hand, I'm like, this is the best action figure I've ever held in my hand. It was. And then it was done from there.
That was it. That's all she wrote.
Started collect. I knew I wanted to get the line with the realization that it would never happen. But over 5 years, I've been able to do it.
Yeah.
Little by little.
Joe called you out and said, "Did you guys know that Mike has a complete Mythic Legions collection?" That's an achievement.
That's because of Joe, because Joe was kind enough to trade me a swig for the gold Skeleton Legion builder, if you can believe that. And that thing's like 600 strong.
Yeah. Those are crazy prices. And I want to get into reissues with you. I like to talk reissues with people that have been in the line for as long as you have. But real quick, I wanted to shout out people that are in the chat. Looks like we only have 4 people, so a few may have dropped off. But at the bottom, it's DC, and DC is the guy that literally introduced me to the line. I don't know if he's still in there, but I just wanted to say thank you to DC. I sent him a text once. I was like, thank you and F you for getting me started into this this toy line, but he was super cool. Like he kept telling me like, hey, you know, this is a good time to jump on. The Headless Horseman is going up for sale. It was that figure obscura, the first one. And I was like, yeah, you know, I'll check it out. And I dragged my feet and but anyway, so we did a trade and he threw in a Malleus and yeah, I'm here, brother. Glad I could help. So he threw in that Malleus and I was like, that bastard, man. Like he threw it in for free. Like, here you go, because we had trades going back and forth, and he threw that in. And I remember taking off the bubble wrap and looking at it. I'm like, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing, DC. But I just started looking at it. You know, I moved it around, I articulated it, his jaw moved, and I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool, man. And so that kind of started my, you know, more interest into the line.
And then the skeleton.
Yeah, it was a skeleton. So I say a lot that I'm not a skeleton guy, but I think I am. I don't know. I mean, I walk a lot of lines, but yeah, deep down, I think, you know, I think I am. But so here's my question though: would Skullman, Skull Warrior, Beastman, whatever you want to call him, is he a skeleton? Would you?
Yeah, well, he has a skull head, so yeah, I would consider him a skeleton.
My number one. He's my number one for 2024.
No kidding. Oh my God. You just gave us a
scoop.
A teaser.
A spoiler for but I just wanted to take a second to shout out to DC, a great friend, a great bro. Thank you very much. It's got to be weird to see me like doing YouTube shows and talking about mythics and all that stuff. Like he literally got me started, and I kind of took the ball and ran with it, and we've gone to Legion's cons and different shows, and now I'm doing a YouTube thing, and that's something that I want to get back to you in, is how you guys had the idea of doing a live show. But anyways, I just wanted to say thank you guys. Thank you. I wanted to shout out the people real quick that are here or that came in this morning. We got started with Matt, my buddy, my mi amigo, who hops on with me on my New to Mythic regular show. Good morning, Matt. We got Brian Carr, another good buddy, a new friend that I met in the community that really me and him just kind of gelled together. Now we're good buddies, good trade buddies. He's the one that picked up that retail Headless Horseman that I didn't get around to getting. So thank you for that, Brian. Henrik Hoffman is also a new buddy that I'm in group chats with, and he's been a great guy. He gifted me these amazing Sin City figures from NECA. Thank you very much.
The Hoff has been on a lot of shows.
Dude is on fire. Dude is on fire, man. He's really, and I love seeing that. Like Heinrich, Terrence, some of these guys that are newer than me just jump in and just grab it with both hands. And I love seeing that. It's great to see people really getting involved and thriving in the community and really loving these figures.
I was in line with Matt also for G-Con. Mm-hmm. That was a good time. In line with everybody and hanging out with everybody in line.
Mm-hmm. Great dude. J-Mac I met at Legion's Con this year. I don't know if I met him last year or not, but I think I've officially met him this year, and I would love for him to be on either the New to Mythics Live or my regular Tuesday show.
J-Mac's awesome.
Yeah, great dude. And Joe G.
Oh, geez. Wow.
One of the best.
Yeah.
One of the best. Just great guy. So thank you guys for taking a few out of your Sunday. Sorry to interrupt you, Mike. I just wanted to. I was shocked to see DC. He hasn't said much, or didn't know. I didn't know that he was, still subscribing or still, in the community at all. So thanks, DC.
So you asked about the lair.
Yes.
So the lair was, I kind of strong-armed Brad into it. So what I did is I said, hey, we need to, we had just got back from G-Com Poxus, And I said, we need to start a show. And Brad's like, oh, no, 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 no. I'm like, well, at least let's see what we can do. Let's show off our collections on Facebook Live and see what we can do. So I went over to his house, did his, and we had a good time doing it. And I'm like, well, what do you think? And he's like, okay, well, let's try. And we didn't know what we were doing at all. And we just started with the first episode, and it just kept on going. People on the Cabal seemed to have loved it. We had
Heck yeah.
views were insane within that Facebook group. We've had a hard time since we've come to YouTube, kind of transferring over, but that'll come with
Yes.
time. Yeah, and that's basically how it started. Yeah.
And did you guys always, was it stream? Well, you use Facebook Live, but now do you guys use StreamYard or do you use something else?
StreamYard, yeah.
Okay. It
Which
works
is
pretty good.
pretty expensive.
Yeah, the price has gone up. I'm kind of sharing this link to friends for this show. Wasn't sure how to do it, so now I'm kind of sharing the live link.
Nice.
Yeah, and like I've had to reach out to people. Like Joe has helped me with StreamYard. I asked Jesse Arnold, like, hey, how do you do this? I don't know how to do certain things. And obviously you could see at the beginning of my thing. And I think you guys, I remember watching you guys do a clip or a beginning thing on your show, trying to work it out, like not too long ago with StreamYard.
Yeah, it's yeah.
They need some tutorials or something.
Oh my God. Yeah. Brian says, excited for Armies of Ashmore. What is the story behind Mike having a character named after him? Well, in both, let's put it this way.
Good question.
Let's go with Mythics, and then let's go with Armies. So the Michael Casper came out of left field for me, obviously, but from my understanding is Jeremy had that in the works because he was writing the book. He had Emir Caspar in the works for Scapular over a year before the Rising Suns G-Con wave happened. And when it was a surprise. Now,
what an honor!
What an honor! But none of us are deserving of a tribute figure because what toy lines do that? Legions do.
Yeah.
But what an honor to be given that, and I am so thankful to them. And I do believe when they hand out tributes, it's not what the individual does; it's what serves the company. What's going on at the time. I was a big Scapular fan, so I believe it really worked out with the Rising Suns G-Con reveal. So what did I do to get one? I did nothing. I just got lucky. That's it, and I am very thankful to them for that. Now with the Armies, that came out of left field for me too. I remember I was at work, and Matt Rod got a hold of me, and he said, "Buddy, I hope you like this." And I didn't know what he was talking about. I thought he was talking about the Kickstarter. I said, "Dude, the Kickstarter's awesome. You're gonna fund this and that." It was later on in the day when people kept on messaging me saying, "Dude, congratulations." So finally it kind of hit me. I looked and I saw the figure. I remember I was in court at the time. And I just was like blown away. I was like, you have got to be kidding. This is amazing. So I think the premise behind that figure, once again, is not what I did. It's what helps the story, what helps the company. So Matt Rod knew he was going to have albino character, and what better name to give an albino character or a white character than Caspar or Casper,
Yeah.
the ghost. So I think that's you know, I am an influencer. I have done, I try to help the
Mhm.
company out as much as I can, but I've done nothing to deserve this.
Well,
Very honored and thankful.
I don't agree. I think you're a great guy. I think that you're a pillar of the community. You and Brad have been there since the beginning, supporters, and I think it's deserved of both of you guys. I'm glad that you guys got these, tribute things, and I think it's great that these companies recognize just great fans and great human beings. But that the Armies of Ashmore, I'm really excited to see. I know my buddy Brian Carr is into the dinosaurs, so he's excited. He's jumping on. I was kind of not sure. Even if it's not my thing, I love dinosaurs. I'm not saying this line isn't my thing, but if I see a new toy company that's trying to get things going, I will usually try, if I can, to kick in 100 and see what I can get for $100 or so, um, just to help them out, and hopefully I turn out to get some cool figures. So that's what I did with them. That's what I did with Brutal Realm. That's what I did with Savage Crucibles. Kick in 100, 120, and see what you get, and then you might be pleasantly surprised. And these figures from Army of Ashmore, they look great. So I'm excited for that. I do like that they sold the blank bucks, and I'm noticing that's a thing that a lot of the Kickstarters are doing now, and I'm really a fan of that because it reminds me of the test shots.
Yeah,
uh,
absolutely.
from Horsemen. I wish, I'm not recommending Horsemen do anything. Whatever they do is wonderful, but I would love if they sold like test shots. Like if they ordered a bunch of the new Scapular version 2, so you wouldn't have to stress about getting one. They would have it available in their in-stock sale or something. Like I would love that, because I think there's something really pure about test shots or that unpainted kind of figure, because you really see everything. It's like us without makeup or without fancy clothes or anything. You really get to see the sculpt and the design and engineering of the figure. That's just my thought.
Yeah, it's I think it's really it's a shout out to the customizing community when these independent lines give the blanks. I mean, it's just
Yes.
wonderful. It's a cheaper figure, of course, and you can just go to town painting. I
Yes.
got one of each of the blanks, and I'll see what I can do with it after I retire, which is in about a year.
I know. I remember you saying that, and I'm excited for you, man. Thank you for your service, man.
You are
Um,
welcome.
I had a question too, but Ed was saying, Mike, you and Brad inspired me to have a Mythic based YouTube show, which is
Nice. Oh
funny.
my God, nice.
Which is funny because Ed kind of inspired me. Him and
Oh,
Tony, I had met them at ZoloCon, freezing our butts off, and I had met Ed and Tony, and they were talking about how they had a show, and we were just talking toys, and I'm like, this is so much fun. Like it was like 4:30 in the morning, and we're cold, and I was like, man, I don't even care like how early this is. I'm just having a blast talking toys with friends, and I'm like, maybe I could do that, So Ed inspired me, Ed and Tony, and you inspired Ed. So,
wow, that's awesome. Thanks, Ed. Yeah.
but it's
Wow.
so much fun, dude. I mean, I was telling Joe the other night, I think it was Joe, that I don't care about being seen. I mean, that doesn't matter. Like I just enjoy like the conversations that I have about this toy line. You know what I mean? Like it's so much fun to talk mythics and Jason and whatever. Like I just enjoy that and have so much fun and love to hear people's stories about how they came into the line and stuff.
And that's New to Mythics is such a wonderful show. And we were talking before in the green room. Is it the green room? Yeah, I think people.
Yeah, backstage or whatever you want to
It
call it.
looks like the white room on my computer. Uh, about the similarities between the Legion's Lair and New to Mythics, where they take the individual and they really get down to the bare bones about where they came from with their action figure collection or their action figure background. I really, your show, I love watching. I never miss one. I love watching it. Uh, just for the simple fact they're so similar.
Yes.
And I get a different perspective on what we actually do too, reaching out to the fans. Yeah,
I
keep
love
it up. Your show is amazing.
No, you guys have a great show too, man. Thank you. I love that you guys have the show us your collection. I think that's so much fun. I don't see that in a lot of other shows. I remember when I was on you guys' show, I was so stressed out because my figures are, well, at the time, most of them were not opened. I had worked in Vermont for months, and I had bought almost a whole Poxis wave and reinforcements and whatever they were selling, and I didn't have anything opened. And so you guys are like, we're gonna do an opening thing. So like that whole week before, I was opening figures, which was a lot of fun, and putting them on the shelves. But a lot of my stuff is all vanilla posed and everything. But it was so much fun. I love that you guys do that because it's nice to see other people's collections and how they do it. So that's a lot of fun to me.
We like to kind of have fun with it. Not purple gang fun now.
Just under, almost, but just under.
But we like to look at the lighter side of the collecting. We like to interview people, get to know people, allow the community to get to know them on a lighter side of things. Obviously, we laugh a ton on the show, so and I
Yes.
think that's one of the things people really enjoy. And of course, I mean, I'm the straight man on the
Yes. I
show.
love that.
I keep the show flowing, and then Brad is the show. I mean, let's put it that way. Brad's humor
Yes.
really makes the show go. I'm basically there just to keep things flowing.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah, you need a straight man, or you need someone to like, okay, let's reel it back in. I was doing an interview with Elijah Baker. I don't know if you got to meet him at Legion's Con. Really awesome young man. And
he's from overseas, correct?
Yes, yeah, he's in London. And we talked for 2 hours, and I think we barely talked Mythics, and I felt bad. I was having such a great time on the show talking to him that we barely got to get around to Mythics. So I'm like, okay, we had to do part 2 where, we'll get back to Mythics. But I was just enjoying myself talking movies and stuff. That Captain Firebeard, such a great young man. He's an awesome dude.
Now we got the elephant in the room here. We need to talk about J-Mac. I hope you're still watching. PowerCon. Do we want to dive into PowerCon a little bit?
Yes. So they released a statement. I didn't have the slide. I should have had one ready, but it's basically saying that they're partnering with Toylanta, and that they're very excited for it. And I think it was just the one show. They didn't say moving forward, I don't think. But what's your thoughts on that?
Well, Curtis kind of gave us some information where the last PowerCon 2023 that they lost a lot of money on the exclusives. And now Val's taken years off before when he was out in California, or a year. So it didn't surprise me that he did this. Now, obviously, PowerCom was massive in 2023 and at the Columbus Convention Center, massive.
Man, that
So
was a
I
great.
thought we're going to
I,
come back big, big in 2025, and nothing. And I knew when they waited this long that they couldn't set up a show on their own because vendors make other plans.
right.
So it didn't surprise me that they went into another con just to keep the name going, it
Mhm.
sounds like, for next year. Now, next year, what happens next year? I mean, does Val want to get out of this? If Val wants to get out of this, then they just try to combine with another con and he shares cost, shares responsibility, stuff like that. I see that's probably the way it's going to go. I would love for them to come back to Columbus and make PowerCom what it was because they had a good thing going there. I mean,
Right.
it was awesome.
Oh man.
It's a disappointment, uh, but it's one that we have to live with, and I am grateful for the 2 years we did have because I don't see it coming back to Ohio. I see
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, no, I see them staying in Atlanta and merging with ToyCon, the Joe Con. Um, just from what I heard, Val, I mean, he's been doing it for a while, so it looks like he needs, the break and the help. That's the way I look at it, and
Right.
therefore, ultimately, that's what will keep it from coming back to Columbus, which is an absolute shame because that 2022 convention was massive and awesome. The 2023 convention was twice as big,
Mhm.
just as awesome. And the Horsemen's presence there, they were the biggest
Man.
presence there, and the lines. Oh my God,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
did miles. Oh
But I
man.
mean, they had Super 7 there. They had Mondo there. I mean,
Oh yeah, they had a ton of people. Yeah, or
ton
a
of
ton of
people.
companies. Yes,
Yeah.
NECA. So
Right.
Tweeterhead. Yeah, the list goes on and on.
Rosetta Girls. I mean,
Oh
Push.
yes,
They had,
yeah.
a lot of companies. I don't know about the financial aspects. I have no idea. I'm not an expert in any of that stuff or know any of the inside. But I do think it's a shame. Like Curtis said, he feels bad for Ohio. I think there's a lot of Midwest fans that would really love to see another big con. And I think the Horsemen would love to come out to the Midwest,
Well, Jeremy said we will always go to PowerCon because since it's in Ohio, it's so close for them, and
Mhm.
they really do well there. I
Yeah,
mean, they're the stars of the show too.
right, right,
And it's just it's a shame, but
right.
I am always one to be thankful for what I did have,
Mhm.
and the experiences that Val gave to me over those two cons, those 2 years. So no hard feelings whatsoever. Val's got to do what Val's got to do. If it
Right.
comes back to Ohio, that's just I'll be pleasantly surprised, and that will be awesome.
Do you
So.
think that maybe another, company could step in and, fill that gap that, you know, Marcon is leaving?
Well, I've never put a con together. I would have to think that, I mean, if you ever have Pete McCarthy on, Pete does Mesquite Con. He could really give a lot of good insight on that.
Yeah.
Now, I've never put a con together myself. I've run street teams, Brad and I, and that's hard enough. I couldn't imagine the logistics you would have to go through in order
Yeah.
to get a con going, let alone the size of PowerCon. I kid you not, 2023, that thing was massive,
Yeah,
massive.
no, I was there. I loved it. It blew my mind. I had only gone to MuskyCon before. I mean, I've been to San Diego Comic Con. I've been to New York Comic Con. I've been to Anaheim, but I had never been to a Horseman. Um, what do you call it? Where the horsemen are there. I hadn't been to one. I've been to MuskyCon, and so going to PowerCon after that just like blew my mind. That was like, whoa, this is huge. Like this is because at MuskyCon they didn't have at the time, or maybe I was late, but they didn't have a lot of product. My wife is going to kill me, Curtis. That's where I met Curtis, and they all had their tables and product. Eric Miller was there and stuff at
Yeah.
MuskyCon. Were you at MuskyCon?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
MesquiteCon and Legions Con and PowerCon were Brad's and I, three cons we do a year. Because of work this year, I'm not going to be able to make Mesquite Con. So my only con this year is going to be Legions Con. But the difference is where Mesquite Con is a street team. So there's going to be limited products.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, sent to Travis, and he runs the street team. Where
I see.
PowerCon, that was the studio coming out, and they
Okay.
were bringing truckloads of product into Columbus. Yeah,
Okay, I
that's
see.
the big difference there. And that's the thing that's I think that's what for the Midwest what made PowerCon so special for the Legions fans
Mm.
because now, my God, we have a major con here, right in our back door,
Right.
and the horsemen are bringing everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all coming.
So
Yeah. So it's a definite loss. Welcome, G. Quesagüe, my man. Good morning, sir. Thank you very much. Curtis is saying an early release of Buzz Off figure is a possibility. That would be a nice surprise. You talking about PowerCon and Toylanta, Curtis? I'm assuming.
I would hope the armies of Ashmore. I would hope the ashes of Agbendor would drop. Oh no, PowerCon is early this year. It's Toylanta, so it's more. Yeah, that would be cool to have an early drop at the show of Buzz Off. That would be cool for a lot of people. Yes.
Let's talk that into existence.
Horseman, Jeremy Gerard, if you're listening, obviously you would already have to have this way into the works, but get Buzz Off at PowerCon 2025 at Toylanta, please.
Great.
I also wanted to mention that the Reign of the Beast Wave ends tonight at 11.
Yes, it does. Let's jump into that real quick. We're already 45 minutes in. What was your thoughts on the wave initially, like when it was released at G?
Well, considering we had Necronominus 2 years ago, we had Rising Suns as the big wave last year. This year, this wave could not even begin to match those.
Right.
I'm a huge Necronominus fan. I'm a huge Sons of the Red Star fan.
Mm-hmm.
So this, right off the bat, they had no chance at even coming close to those two waves.
Right.
But I really enjoyed it for what it was. I got two all-ins because I felt like I needed an inbox Basilia, an inbox Leodicius.
Mm-hmm.
And it's incredible. I mean, it's really, really good. I mean, you have the introduction of the 3.0 body style,
yes,
with the scapular and the Leodicius Knight. Mm-hmm. You have Leodicius himself. We finally get to see the lion god, the lion beast, and we finally get to see the female snake god. Uh, Amazing. And then,
Yeah.
yeah, right there. Um, and then you have the introduction of the snake people.
Mhm.
At the con, we got the snake
That's huge.
Indian.
You
Uh,
know, they introduced the whole race right there, you know.
yeah, so
And
the wave, and it was smaller, knowing they have the dragon coming up. So a $300 all in or 320 for what you're getting, amazing,
oh
amazing.
yeah, I
Yes,
mean that's
I
Dork Layer posted, 320 today or 445, tomorrow. And that's a real, wow, okay, you know.
so I can't stress enough to people, we want to support the retailers. We really do. But uh, you need to jump in on the pre-orders if you want to get the best possible price. The shows are going the way of the retail price.
Mhm.
So if you want to get your best possible price and you can swing it, get an all-in from Store Horseman every time.
Mhm.
Uh, and it's amazing. If you get some figures you just don't want on your shelf, you can turn around, trade them,
Absolutely.
sell
Yeah.
them.
I went
So
I went
I
different.
encourage people to do that.
I ordered just what I wanted, but I kept it at around the same price as the all-in. So I got basically Basilia, I got two of the snake guards, I got three of the soldiers because I really, really love their design. And I got I think Leodicius and the dragon lady.
Yeah, yeah.
Cackler and the genie didn't really grab me, but I know I'm not disparaging. I know that when I see them in hand, I'm gonna want them. It was just not something right now that I was like, I need this. So instead of getting those, I opted to get, an extra serpent guard and two more of the Roman soldiers.
The Royals. Chris Johnson says, "Hey Mike, doing Statue Con again this year, real quick. Uh, Not that we know of. It doesn't mean the Horsemen won't reach out to us. And of course, if the Horsemen would reach out to us, we would move heaven and earth to help them and make that happen. But as it stands right now, as far as I know, no." Um, yeah, the wave's amazing, and Leodicius is the standout. I mean, he
Oh
has
man,
to stand out.
epic, an epic figure. I think initially I was kind of shocked at the size of the wave. Like I thought I was kind of comparing Necro and Poxus to this one. And I was like, when Jeremy's like, and this is our last reveal. And I was just like, whoa. I mean, yes, there was a ton of reveals after this wave. So I understand, but I was kind of shocked that this was it for the wave. They're all amazing. They're all incredible. I love them all. But I was like, that's it. But
For
but I
me,
I think there's a strategy.
it was a welcome surprise because I really didn't want to have a 550 wave, knowing the dragon's coming.
Mhm.
I would have done it. But it was nice. It was nice seeing that. Now I think next G-Con you're going to go back to the massive 11 figure wave. What they have in store for us next, I know that was a topic you wanted to jump into, Greg. Uh, I, it's all the map. They showed us the extended map of
Mhm.
Mythos, and there's a lot of area to be explored.
Oh man.
So, what direction they're going next, we have no idea. On Shooting the Shelf, right after Legion's Con, Curtis asked, was talking to Jeremy, what's next, and he said we're going to sail off to new adventures or whatever it was. So they're going to the new areas on the map, and that could mean anything. I mean,
Right.
are we going to get a wave of just on the water? Seafaring people, mer people, or are they going to go to another continent?
Right.
And are you know are they going to go to the east with
Mhm.
Rhaegor's faction,
Mhm.
and going to see the dragon, the new dragon, the Araya? I
Mhm.
believe he would be the eastern dragon, I believe.
Mhm.
You don't know. I mean, there's
Right.
just it's wide open now. No one's going to be able to really say,
Yeah.
what direction they're going in.
I think with and I'm not an expert in anything like lore, or I'm still fairly new, but I think that with the addition of Jeremy, he really has a far-seeing strategy, and I think he likes to tie in things. So my thought is maybe we're going to get the book next year. Maybe there might be tie-ins involved with the book, with the new wave, like here's the book, and then here is some of the characters that are going to be in the book, in the future, in the next. So I don't know, I feel like there might be some connections or something. What do you think about that? I
I,
could be off. That's just my thought.
I think for Mythic wise next year, our only real clues are Beathir's two bios. There's two bios floating around out there talking about Beathir, and I think by them expanding the map, it is going to be centered around the five pillars.
Mhm.
Five pillars, and I think now that the Dark Four were defeated, I believe the new threat now is going to be the five pillars versus Mythos itself,
Mhm.
uh, and their kingdoms, basically. Uh,
Right.
and not saying that the pillars are a threat, because they feel that they're trying to protect Mythos, where the continent of Mythos feels like they're trying to protect their people. So who's wrong, who's not, you don't know.
Mhm.
But I think that's where a lot of your storyline's going to come now.
Mhm.
When it comes to Mythic Legions, Figure Obscura, I you're gonna get your regular Figura drop in the spring. You're going to get your Halloween Figura drop, and you're going to get your Christmas. I think we all know Christmas. You're going to get the Ghost of Christmas
Mhm.
Present.
Mhm.
He's the big Santa Claus looking guy. So it'll be neat to see their take on that. For Halloween, they're going to do another dark monster type um, Figura Obscura. And I believe in the spring, they could go two more gods of ancient Egypt.
Mhm.
They want to
I would.
keep going with that line,
Yeah,
or
I look forward to
or
that.
with something totally. I mean, that's wide open. But then Cosmic Legions, I believe with the dragon, you're only going to get the one cosmic wave, and that's going to finish out the Ox Crew story.
Mhm.
Uh, the wave three for the Ox Crew story. And then, of course, you're going to have your legacies. You're going to have probably a wave of legacies in there, maybe two or three. And we know Otho's coming. We know Etheron's coming. We know Xylona's coming.
Mhm.
We know Urzog's coming. So we take all four of those into a all-star wave or a version 2 wave. There you
Mhm.
go. And that's legacies. Now you're also going to have um, I'm trying to remember what they called it. It wasn't legacies. It's where they take um, a figure from pop culture and make it into mythic legions, make
Oh,
it legions.
Infinite Legions.
Legions. You'll probably get one of those, and it looks like it's going to be the Glyos one.
Mhm.
So, I mean, you have the dragon, obviously, that's going to be huge. So, the GCOM wave is going to be there, going to be a huge wave. So they have a lot. I mean, every month there's going to be something.
Every
Obviously,
month. Every month.
January, you're going to get from Legion's Con, you're going to get those figures single carded, and you're going to get the armory experience coming out. So there's a lot going on this coming year.
I want to talk on Armory. I loved it. It was probably, besides seeing all buddies again, the Armory was probably my favorite Horseman experience. My question is, why would they limit the experience? Not saying don't they take it with them, but why is it so limited? The all-ins, I just reread it this morning. It's like there's a limited all-in, there's only one per person. The retail figures, they're probably not going to make it to the cons. It's only in stock sale. Like, if you have something so amazing, why? And I know that they have to plan. I get that. There's plans in the works,
That's
but
part
like
of it.
Valiant Knight blew things out of the water, and I remember talking to Diego at one of the cons. I think it was at Zolocon, no, or maybe it was ToyCon New Jersey. He's like, "This is the last of our stock," and I was just like, "Wait, what?" Like, people were grabbing, handfuls of Valiants. They're great figures, but my thought is like, why would you limit? And I'm not trying to
I
be
think it comes down to the logistics of the business. They only have so much warehouse space. You have to continue to get new ideas, new products going to keep the line fresh, to keep people interested. Uh, Not to say that, hey, let's put another wave of Valiant Knights out, but I think they only do a certain amount of them. They know Necronominus is coming out. And when the Necronominus wave comes out, the Valiant Knight's going to be forgot about. I mean, it really is.
I hate to disagree with you, but I disagree.
Well,
I think
I say that because it is a $40 figure, or it's a regular priced figure. The Necronominus wave, when it comes out, you're going to get these regular price figures that have that same build, but in multi-colors
right,
and soft goods with
right.
them, everything. So that's why Valiant Knight was put out there to whet our appetite for Necronominus, because these waves take 2 years.
Mhm.
The Skeleton Legion Builder too was put out there to whet our appetite because it's taken so long to get these major waves out.
Mhm.
Uh, I know people love the Valiant Knight, but I really do believe that he is going to pale in comparison to these other knights coming out in.
No, I agree with you on that. My thought is, I'm trying to think of another, like, an example. Um Kenner they would keep, even though Darth Vader was, old and outdated, they would still have Darth Vader because it's Darth Vader. Like, I know Valiant Knight is not a named figure, and I know that the new knights will be using that same body, but less paint apps, make it a Legion builder, make it an in-stock sale
Oh,
thing.
I
Like,
can see them
Valiant
doing that.
Knights, it's such a
Absolutely.
good figure. Why would you limit it? Why would you not have such an amazing figure? It's basically letting the scalpers just, sell it for whatever they want to.
Well,
That's just my thought.
so the Skeleton Legion Builder 2 is a $26 figure through pre-order. I can see them making a generic knight with the new knight parts. Absolutely a $26 figure.
Mhm.
And I that's coming. It's got to be coming.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
that's my thought. You know what I mean? I just I love that they have retail stuff in their store now. I think it's great to be able to hop on. I check it almost every day to see if there's something new. It's like, oh, the Gold Knight sold out, or the Cavern Dwarf sold out, or whatever. It's like I love to be able to have the ability to go on there and pick something up. Or you have a friend that's new to it. It's like, hey, I want to send him a barbarian builder. You know what I mean? It's like it's a great way to have access to stuff other than secondary markets. Why not let the horsemen make the money, and have it go, and have their price, as opposed to paying, $50-$70, for a Legion builder skeleton. I would rather have them, reap the benefits of it, and have it, easily available. That's just my thought.
Yeah. Ultimately it's a business, and we're on the outside looking in.
Right.
They ultimately have to make the best decisions for the business. But I mean, they never disappoint us.
No, never. No, not at all. I agree with you. And if you look at it, like and it's not a course correction, but like with the 4-pack of the skeletons, Cornboy said that was all Jeremy. Like he thought that up, and then they threw it in. Like it became something, and now it's almost like they fast tracked it to kind of keep up with the demand of how amazing these skeletons are.
Well, yeah. Talking about business decisions, let's talk a little bit about pricing on the dragon and what we would. My most anticipated thing right now, even with Necronominus on the water, is the Kickstarter for not the Kickstarter, the crowdfunding for the dragon. I think that's going to be a month-long process that every day we're looking at it. It's just going to be fun as all get out for us. Pricing.
Oh,
what do you think, Greg?
I think they're very considerate when it comes to pricing. I was having this conversation with Joe the other night. I seeing the dragon in person, whatever price that they are going to have it at is going to be fair to us, and it's worth whatever they ask. Like I feel like I'm going to be shocked at how much they ask, but in a good way. Like I think it's going to be less than what we might be anticipating because it's mass produced, I guess. But seeing it in person, like if somebody said this is $900, I would be like, okay. Like Eric put in this amazing, I mean, every scale is hand sculpted. He didn't cut any corners. It's all the paint. I mean, you've seen it. It's a gorgeous, it's probably the most beautiful action figure I've ever seen. So whatever they do ask, it's fair. Whether I can afford it, I don't know. I couldn't drop $900 on an action figure probably, but I would say either way, I wouldn't complain because I've seen it. And I asked Cornboy, hey, are you going to take it on tour? And he's like, we have something figured out. We're not sure yet. I'm not confirming anything, but if they bring it to the big shows and really let people see it, it's gonna go crazy. Like this thing is majestic.
Yeah, it's the big talk of the toy community right now. They said, Greg, that it's going to be a lot more than $200-$300 a small wave, but a lot less than $600. So that puts us around the $400 mark. I can't see them being able, with what the factory comes back with, them being able to do it for 400. I'm looking at least. I'm looking between 450 to 500 for the basic dragon package. I'm looking at another 150 for the expansion pack, the fire effects, the flying wings, and different neck attachment. So that would, if you bought those separately, so you're talking about anywhere from 600 to 650 for both of
Mhm.
those. What would, knowing that, I think that's a very conservative outlook on that.
Mhm.
Knowing that, what do you think an all-in, if they had an all-in option for both of those, where would that come in at? 550?
Yeah, I think it would be reduced. But I think also we need to consider that there's figures, or at least one figure that is part of the crowdfunding, if they reach a certain. So I don't know if that's going to be in the base, or if the base is just going to be the dragon, and then the
No,
figures and all the extras going to be part of that, or is it going to be an all-in thing? Like,
see, I wasn't around for the Kickstarter for Advent of Decay or Mythic Legions Wave 1. So if anybody's out there in the chat who was, uh, let us know, how does that work on crowdfunding? If they meet their goals and you have bought the thing, any add-ons they give, is that included in the price, or do you have to pay for those add-ons? That's another thing that
yeah,
I
I don't know.
thought about. I know, like with the HasLabs, and they said it's going to be similar to a HasLab or Matty Collector type deal, but the HasLabs, when you have like the his tank, okay, they made their crowdfunding goal, and then extras were put in for that price.
Mhm.
Is that how this is going to go, or are extras going to be put in that you have to then add on? So if they add an extra figure, is it going to be an extra $35?
I think it depends on what the add-on is. Like if it's a figure, it might be more. If it's parts, then I think it would be included, like what you're saying. I don't know. I know Chris said to me that they've been working on it for months. I had an interview with him last week, and he said they've been working on it for so long. The logistics, the boxing, the shipping, the warehouse, the factory time that it's going to take, all that stuff. He delves into that in an interview that I had with him. But I don't know. We're going to find out. I hate to wait till March, but um, hopefully they'll have something for us before March, like news of it. Let's
So
see.
Joe just answered a question for us. Every Kickstarter I've ever done, you had to pay for the unlocks. So maybe I'm not correct in saying that not Mattel, Hasbro, when they do their HasLab, maybe people have to pay extra for those extra things put in there.
Mhm.
I was under the understanding that because they met well above their goals, you got free figures.
Mhm.
It was an incentive to keep going. But
And maybe
nope,
the
I've never been
wholesaler knows
involved in one really. Joe has. Yeah.
that. Mhm.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think it depends on what it is that and there might be different tiers of, so like, say and this is just speculation, we're just speculating here, but say there's tiers. There's the 450 tier, and if you choose that tier, then maybe there's some unlockables in there, like maybe you'll get some, some bloody claws, maybe you'll get, I don't know, a charred skeleton or whatever, if it keeps meeting these goals. And then you can jump into maybe a higher tier, maybe a 750 tier, that comes with the wings, that comes with a figure, that comes with, the extra head and the elongated neck and things like that.
Okay.
Um,
So right here, Dub 3, people are educating us right now, but apparently there's a difference between a stretch goal and an add-on. It looks like add-ons would not be paid. it's part of the original price. Stretch goals, like in the Armies of Ashmore for the Caspar figure and the Milwick figure, are stretch goals. I'm thinking, and it looks like we. Oh gosh, someone said that. This is all fascinating to me. Someone
I
said
do
that
too. It's very interesting.
Hasbro indeed adds everything into the one price.
Mhm.
You don't pay extra for them. Here we got Trevor. Hasbro likely figures in the cost of the incentives and the price they're asking, so they're not entirely free bonuses. Gotcha. Okay, so right there. So Hasbro, okay, so that's a sneaky way to get that in. Okay.
But I
Okay.
think that the horsemen doing it themselves, they're going to do it in a different way. You know what I mean? I think, like with Hasbro, if they didn't reach this certain goal, they were not going to make the Baroness. For the what was it for? They just did. The Warthog. So I think the horsemen might do it a little bit differently when it comes to producing the extra. I don't know. It is interesting, and I'm curious of what
It looks like, from what people are saying,
Rattler.
that with the Horsemen, smaller company, the Horsemen are not going to do what Hasbro does and figure stretch goals into the price of the Dragon. They're going to try to keep that price as minimal as possible.
Right.
The 450, okay, is
Right.
where I'm thinking they're going to come in at. So, with knowing that, then when stretch goals come, we're also going to have to pay for those then,
Mhm.
which I'm fine with.
Right. Right.
So it's just interesting learning this. So come March, I'm not totally, out in left field.
Right. So let's go to the in stock sale, which is imminent. Tonight is the last time to get your Reign of the Beasts pre-order in. We talked about that already. And usually, like, he might give you a week or two, but usually there's going to be something coming. So I'm guessing maybe in the next couple of weeks there might be an announcement for an in-stock sale. Do you agree with that? Or
Yeah, I would think they would probably want to get that up within a week because they're in stock sales. They keep what they don't sell, they'll keep on store Horsemen. So people will have like all month before whatever comes next comes, which probably will be a figure obscura. I would imagine they're going to want to keep it somewhat low for the dragon, and they're bringing the dragon out at the perfect time with tax returns too.
Mhm.
They're smart.
They're smart, yeah, but also thoughtful. Like I think they realize, like we can, like, toys are bonuses, like it's extra. You got to have a home, you got to have clothes and food for the kids and all that stuff. So I think they have in mind our ability to be able to, and I think that's why they're doing the smaller wave, and then giving space between the $320 all in, and then the dragon. Because if the dragon was like next week, people will be like, what the hell, man? You know what I mean? So I think they're giving us some time to
So what's in this
rebuild.
stock sale? What do we know?
I think, let's see, I think the stretch goals will be included in the asking price, but certain numbers of units will need to be met to reach those.
Okay.
Thank you,
Okay.
Trevor. Appreciate
That's
that.
interesting. Yep.
My toy needs to be placed stored, so the home is a must. Right. Yeah, we got to have a place to store our stuff, even if it's in bins. I said at GCon they should run it in March for tax time. Right. Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
I'm back to Armory.
Armory's gonna be there. So are the Legion's Con exclusive figures in their own packaging.
Is
Is
that
there anything
confirmed?
else?
Did they say that that
Oh
they would
yeah,
be soon?
they've done that the last couple years
Okay.
or last year, so I'm sure we'll get a Gaspar carded. We'll get a Garwich on card. We'll get a CC, I believe 20 or 20, not CC 24, and a AA 22 maybe or 20 single carded. But I can't. Trying to think, is there anything else that they would have in there?
Maybe Ninian. You think they would have the
Oh,
Ninian?
yes. I think they would have extra Ninians in that. Yes. Yep.
People that did not go to Legion's Con do not sleep on this figure. Even if you are not a snake person, this figure is beautiful. It's amazing. People are calling it the new Valiant Knight. I agree, even though I'm a huge Knight guy like Joe Russo. This snake figure is gorgeous. Buy it. Don't sleep on it. You're going to regret it because this figure is.
Grab that. Grab it.
Any kind of surprises you think? Is there anything else that you think might be in that in
I mean,
stock sale?
it's Four Horsemen Studios. I mean, I don't see that. I see that being straightforward. I mean, they said early this year you're going to have the book also, the first 10 years book with the version 2 of the Silver Knight come out. So
I can't wait to.
That could be.
Yeah.
I mean, that very well could be the thing that comes out in February.
I asked Trevor, I said, man, because he took pictures of the night. I'm like, dude, what is the finish comparable to? And he did Trevor. He's like, I don't know. I don't remember. I didn't really, I'm like, man. So I'm wondering, like, is it as shiny? Is it going to be shinier? Is it like Steel Knight? Like, is it going to be like, I want to know, about that Silver Knight. I'm very excited. Very excited. Rice Baby said, any chance there will be the dwarf legs? And I think that if they pack those like the $10 chest pack, I think that they would sell a ton.
Yeah, the dwarf legs were exclusive to the con, just like the Atlas head. You won't be seeing those in the packaging unless there's a mistake made, like the Sir Gerard scapular head, which was a pleasant mistake.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, now this is the coffee table book that we're talking about now, right? Not the novel.
Yeah. So
I can't wait.
February, I look for the book to be solicited. Now we won't get it until probably end of year. And yeah, poor Trevor has to do all the photos for that. I mean, I think Trevor said he was on the weapons now doing some more photos of the weapons, I want to say, on one of the shows he was on just this week. I want to say, Trevor, let me know if I'm messing that up. So yeah.
I was curious about something about the book, and I'm wondering if Trevor could jump on. Trevor, do you have a minute to jump on? Could I send you the link? Would that be okay? I know you're co-hosting, but
get to the chopper, Trevor.
Get to the chopper. I'm gonna send Trevor the link.
We need you. And Trevor, please come on. You can give us more insight. And I really love this topic on the crowdfunding.
We're not going to grill you. We just have some questions. Friendly questions.
No, we only cook the guests on the Legion's Lair in the
there's no hot seat. There's no hot seat. And that's what I want with this show. I want people to be able to hop on and engage. You I didn't really let you know, but I would love for people that are in chats to be able to hop on and add their 2 cents. If they have information. I just didn't tell you anything about it. because I wasn't really sure how you would take it. Because some people might be like, "No, man, I'm on the show. I don't want other people to, you know."
No,
But
man, bring them all on.
yeah,
More
that's
than
my thought
merrier.
too. That's my thought too, man. And I love everybody. I love you guys' interactions. Thank you guys for hanging out. But I had a question about the book that I wanted to ask Trevor personally. I want him to be on the show, but there's a reason that I want him on the show, but I don't now. And when he hops on, I'll talk to him about it. But
So I think we have the first 3 months kind of pegged down. They're going to do that in stock sale January, and they've got to keep these 2 months low because of the Dragon coming out in March.
yes.
So I think you're going to get the book solicited in February with the Silver Knight version 2, V2.
Now, do you think they're going to be connected? Like, buy the book and the figure for $55 or whatever what do you think the book is going to be like?
They could do something like that. Most likely they will keep them separate, but they might have a deal where you buy a book and you can get a figure. But I don't know if they would do that because, honest to God, people want a bunch of the Silver Knight Legion builders. They wouldn't want a lot of the books. There's only so many coffee table books you can put on your coffee table.
Welcome, sir. Good morning. He's got sleep in his eyes.
I did not have the best night's sleep, and I was going to say you're lucky. I'm just sitting here by the computer waiting for somebody to invite me onto the internet.
I appreciate you so much.
It's my first official appearance, Greg. I just want to say.
I've asked you, and you're busy. I get it.
No, I told you I'm on anytime you want. But
I've had conversations. Like I was talking to Joe.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, what's up, Trev?
I was talking to Joji about you, or was it?
Yeah.
Who was I talking to about you? But I'm like, I would love to talk to Trevor, but I don't want to talk just photography because it's like you talk about it all day, you do it all day. It's like I want to think of some really good, questions. And then you were on with my buddy Eric Keys, and he asked so many great questions. I'm like, he asked what am I going to talk to you about? I mean, I want to talk to you about other stuff besides just photography.
Different audience, but I mean, I like when you get and delve into people's backgrounds with collecting and stuff like that. It's hard to
You wouldn't get tired.
I like Curtis. I'm not as everywhere as Curtis is, but people have heard.
Who
enough,
is, man? Nice.
But I don't want to jump all over Mike's stuff. So what do you have? You got some specific questions?
We were talking about the book, and we were just kind of speculating, just fun, friendly speculation about when we thought the book might go on sale. Do we think maybe the figure would be tied to that, like a bundle, but then also being able to buy the figures separately, of course, too?
I say all this from not because I don't ask questions sometimes because I want to talk about them on my show and other people's shows and stuff and just speculate. Otherwise, it'd be pretty boring on the show. But I think the book, though, I think Jeremy's already said this, would probably be, solicited, like I said in the chat, Q1 of next year. They want to get this out, but it has been a lot of work, and I know the other book has been a lot of work, and I think more work than even Jeremy thought, because I mean, talking about the editing process, and I was talking with him about that, and they have an outside editor, like a real editor, going through it and just pointing out some things and going back and rewriting some stuff. So it's a lot more work. I mean, this was something we started talking about earlier this year. It wasn't a matter of it's been years, and then there was, I don't even know how many at this point. I lost count, but over 100 figures to shoot. You know what I mean? And then all the accessories, and in between that, all the other stuff that we had to do for the waves and things like that take a lot of time. And I've got a couple other clients that I have to deal with too. And so I'm wrapping it up. It's a little late, but it's always been, everything's been a little pushed back. But I'm gonna wrap it up by early January, and I'm gonna be doing it all day today. I've been doing it shooting all these accessories, and I had to get a few figures that I didn't have from the studio, so they sent those over to me.
That's what I was going to ask you. That was my question, because I think I had asked, I think Joe Vasapolo when he was on Legion's chat one night, something about Gadriel, and he was like, we didn't have a complete Gadriel or something. Like they were doing like a pop and swap, I think, for the Ashes of Agmendor.
Oh, yeah.
And we were, and I kind of, and I love, if anyone hasn't been on Legion's chat, if you ever get a chance, hop on. It's a lot of fun. But Joe G just like hangs out, and you can ask him just random shit like, what belt was used in, and this dude's got this insane brain. He's like, oh yeah, that belt was used for this figure and that figure and this figure. Like, oh okay, I didn't know that, or but so my question to you, and that's why I was like, oh, I would love to ask you this, was did they have to reissue or remake a figure for you just to get all the good pictures and all that stuff?
No, I'm nearly complete. I'm like a few figures away, like 4, I think now at this point, of being complete. But there are some that I keep in box. Like I got a Sir Valgard from them, and I won it in a contest early on. For like, it was a photo or a Christmas card contest, and so that to me is like something I don't even want to open. I'd take the figure out, but I don't want to open the accessories and stuff like that. It's just something I had them autograph it. I just want to keep it in the box.
Yes,
very few things like that, but I do have a few that I got kind of mint and they're old, and I spent a pretty penny on them, so I kind of want to keep them in box. So they sent me what they could, and some of this, I think I'm okay in saying this, some of this is Chris Garich's personal collection that they sent me. Like 3 or 4 of the figures are like his opened but in box. Yeah. And Chris like, treat these like gold.
Right.
And so I sent him a gift of like rubber gloves and like something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm treating them well. I'm really doing anything with them anyway. They're just kind of standing there and doing turns, but they don't necessarily have everything there on hand. They have all those box figures up there, but those are a lot of things I don't think they want to open either, if they can help it, so yeah.
Yeah, I was curious about that.
Mm-hmm. So I have everything now. I'm looking currently for my weapons packs box, because I know I have those somewhere, and those have to be shot as well. The only thing that's not going in there is the birds. I think they said that before, the Aetheron's dozen, which aren't really officially... they say Mythic Legions on them, I guess, but they're not officially like Mythic Legions. Legions.
Does the book just go up to Poxus, or does it go past Poxus?
Everything. I believe right up to what we have out, or maybe even photographed.
Oh, wow.
And it's not out this year. So everything that's been done so far, right up to Reign of the Beasts, I'm going to guess he's putting those in there.
Okay. Are they doing?
I don't know. Actually, I don't know about that. I don't know. He's got those images, so I'm going to assume he's going to put those in there. But like maybe it's
pictures. You guys do what you want with the pictures.
No, I don't know what like the first 10 years means. And again, I haven't asked him this. Does it mean like up to everything that's come out and you physically have in hand in the first 10 years? So that would mean whatever we have now, which would have been, it wouldn't be Necronomicus. But I can't imagine he's not putting all that stuff in. I think it's going to be everything that we have photographed that's been solicited up through the end of this year. So yeah. Not cosmic, but mythic, obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
What about the crowdfunding? Can you educate me and Greg on that? What do those terms mean? Stretch goals, add-ons, stuff like that. What can we expect? Because I've never done a HasLab before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Kickstarters are kind of different because like. The HasLab is like, so there's a price, like, and it's usually, what some people say is on the higher end, and it's the reason it's a HasLab, that they can't put it in a store and sell the Ghost, for example, for $400 on a Target shelf. It's just not going to go. A, it's going to take up too much room. Mm-hmm. B, it's a $400 item that's probably not going to sell in the toy department, So they do it for that reason, and I think in that $400, I don't remember if it was $400, but let's say it was $400, you get the ship. And then you get a few things, like it's going to come with like 2 figures. But then if they sell 8,000 of them, 5,000 of them to start, you get this extra figure. If they sell 8,000 of them, you get this extra figure and like an accessory or something like that. So there's going to be, those are the stretch goals. So that's like, hey, let's get selling more. Now, when they sell more, they're obviously making more profit on that. You know, they expect to sell 5,000, let's say. And if they sell 5,000, which is the minimum, they make a profit, they're happy, right? But if everybody wants the reason to incentivize people to sell more and more and more, obviously, is for them to make more than they expected. And these little things they have a value to them, but like a figure, I don't know, what does a figure cost, Hasbro, like $3,
right,
$2? And it's a $15, $18, $20 item for you and I. So that's two figures is like a $40 extra bonus, you know what I mean? And if you get all 5 of the figures or whatever it is, if you sell 15,000 of them, then that's $100 extra for us. For them, it costs, $20. You know what I mean? So they take a little off their profit. It gets cut a little bit. They sold more. So that's the whole trade-off. They're selling more. So I think with the 4 Horsemen, it won't be as, I'm not saying Hasbro is like nefarious, but I think it'll be fair, because I think they want to keep, like you guys said, they want to keep this price fair, and like they just want to sell this dragon and not have everybody say like, whoa, $700. It's like, yeah, but we've added in the price of the figures that you may or may not get. That's not right. You know what I mean? You take a little less. They're going to make, if they sell it for 500, just throwing that out there, and you can do a stretch goal. If they sell, I don't know, 5,000 of them, you get like 3 or 4 figures. Mm-hmm. That's a pretty good incentive, to get all those things. They're just going to take the price of those figures, I'm guessing, and just deduct it from the profit that they've made from the dragon. I don't know. I think that's all the stuff that they're figuring out now. You know what I mean? Like, they got to figure out, like, we can't, like, I think I
no, you're back. You're good.
Wigged out. Okay. They can't. I'm talking a lot about this, but they can't. They can't incentivize it so much that by the time they're done, they're not really making much on this thing. They still have to make money. You know what I mean? It's a business. So it's like Mike said, it's a business. So yeah. So I think that's basically how it works. And then there will be add-ons like the flame and head pack, which will be extra. And then who knows, maybe they'll do like the Kickstarter thing. And I don't know, the Kickstarter thing's different. Like, right. Like the more you buy, the more they make. Mm-hmm. But you can add things on. Maybe you can add those figures on extra for more money if they don't incentivize them. Meaning like if we don't reach a certain goal, and so you don't get this figure, and everybody's like, oh, I want that figure. Maybe they'll let you buy the figure afterwards for an extra $40, $50 or something, whatever it is. Right. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know though. I haven't asked. So, nice. But I think the stretch goals will be stretch goals in terms of like how many units they're selling. So I think that's the way that's going to go. Yeah.
Yeah, I think. I
don't think Otho's going to be a stretch incentive. I think Otho's going to be. No, Otho's part of that other legacy.
Now, with that legacy thing, kind of veering from the dragon for a minute, I'm wondering, will it be like a wave unto itself? So, like, is it going to be? And I don't. Maybe he said this already, and I don't know. I mean, I'm not on the Cabal like 24 hours, but has he said that the legacy will be like 3 legacy figure wave, or will it just drop by itself? I wonder, like in an in-stock sale, or just by itself.
What do you think, Mike? I don't know.
You guys think?
Your guess is as good as mine, Mike. So go ahead, it's your show.
I don't know.
I think it might be a mini wave.
Yeah.
2 or 3 figures or something. I don't think it's going to be something that's included in a wave. Unless it's like, here's the legacy figure that's included with this wave. I think the legacy stuff might be. I don't know how often they can do that though, because how many do we have to go by? You know what I mean? That we really need reissues of. We need the 2 gods, but those I think might be coming in a wave. I would assume those will probably be coming in a wave.
Right.
So it's like, how many are they going to redo and resell as a better figure? And for how often? It might be like a figure obscura, like a legacy figure might be like a once or twice a year
thing. Nice,
you know what I mean? Yeah, it could be like one of those one-offs like that. Like, it could be like that.
I would think with Infinite and legacies that they're going to be rather small quantity, meaning you only have a few figure obscuras a year. I think you might get one legacy drop a year, one Infinite Legions drop a year, and you might have 2-3 figures in each one.
Yeah, it might be a wave, or it might just be, one or two. I think it would be cool if it was just like one, and it was just something that they sprung on us, and it was like readily available, either readily available or, well, I mean, if it's going to be one, you kind of want it to be like, I don't want to wait a year and a half for one figure that I ordered. You know what I mean? Like, that's a little. So if they know they're doing it, and it's not a matter of like soliciting enough, I don't know if they're going to do that or not, because again, like going back to like the warehouse space, like you were talking about, Mike, I mean, the figura obscura is that type of thing, and they have to take a chance on ordering a certain number before anybody has ordered them. You know what I mean? So, I mean, they have retailers ordering them and stuff, but like you can only go by that, so much. So they have to guess at how many they're going to sell after that. So I don't think they want to do that too much. It's not the best,
and ultimately
way to go about it. But
end of the day, there's only 12 months in a year. So, I mean, you only have 12 shots at giving us stuff, putting stuff out. So I cannot see it being more than once a year where you get legacies and infinite, because you have 3 figura obscura drops, unless they're going to back them off to maybe 2 a year. And then you have your big GCOM wave, which would be Mythic. You have your big, you're going to have a big cosmic wave or a cosmic wave. This year, you're going to throw the dragon in there too. You have the book. I mean, there's only so many chances.
But we think, you and I at least, in here, think like completists. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, so many times we can have, I don't know if that's what you're saying, like there's only so many times you can get us to buy something, but like not everybody's even buying, cosmic stuff. Not everybody buys every figure obscura that drops. There's only going to be a finite amount of people who are going to be even interested in a book. You know what I mean? Those casual collectors and stuff like that might not be, who get a couple Mythic Legions here or there, or pick up a figure obscura, might not be interested in the book. I have go ahead.
Speculative question about the legacy line. Do you think that the legacy might be the answer, or maybe basically saying we're not going to do reissues, like we're going to move forward? Like I've heard Eric say, I'm not really interested in looking backward. I would rather make version 2s of the older figures. But I think that the mystery boxes did so well. I think, and we've seen reissues at cons and everything, and I think they do well. I don't know, but it seems like they did really well. I'm just wondering, are they going to make space for reissues in the future? Are they going to do mystery boxes, or is this legacy going to be like their way of like saying, we're not really doing that anymore, we're moving forward, we're not going to reissue of the older stuff?
Yeah,
what are your thoughts?
I think they're done. The All Stars is done. I think the legacy was the final hurrah, and they do want to go to the version 2. Listen, they don't make a lot on the All Star figures. They just don't, because usually people just want one of each if they're the completist. And the people new to the line, knowing they can't go back, they want these newer figures, which are highly superior to what you get with All Star. So I think personally, Trevor, I think it's done. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so too. I think they've all but said that. I don't know have inside information on it. I always have to say that, but I think that's the case too. I think you're right that mystery box and the reissues was the last hurrah, because they put out a lot of stuff that people were clamoring for in the All Stars, and never really got, Silverhorn Sentry and all those figures like that people were, I love the voting process. It was fun. The campaigning was fun. I got involved in it. It was good. I think there'll be other opportunities for that, and it may be like the legacy thing, like like vote for the next legacy figure or something like that. It's just going to be a lot less, because you're right. Like those don't sell well because it's like completists like us who need something that they haven't gotten in the past, and they don't want to spend $300 on it. and a few people who are getting into it and like, well, I'd like to have that character because it's an older character. But people outside and there's a lot of people inside that are just like, it's boring. You know what I mean? I don't care about a red skeleton or a blue, a green skeleton or, you know what I mean? Or whatever,
Yeah.
a blue ghost or a white, like they're just like, I don't need that. So it's hard to gauge, and they don't probably sell enough to make it worth the while of actually producing the figures. So, yeah.
Oh, I got to show Trev something real quick. Trevor,
Yeah,
look at this, dude.
Oh, nice. I just saw it. Nice.
Right there's both pictures.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Beautiful work. Beautiful work.
Yes.
Yeah,
well, do you want me to let you guys get back to it?
It's up to you. You can bounce if you want.
Dude, stay on. If you want, unless you have to do photos, stay on with us.
No, I'm not awake enough to do photos yet, but I'm going to be.
Stay on. Stay on. What other topics do we have?
I've got top 10 figures of 2024. Favorite movies.
Well, I'm saving that for tomorrow. So.
Okay. Oh, he's got his own thing going.
So do we?
You mean overall or Mythics?
See, I did overall, and then me and Mike, because Mike dropped a bomb on me and said that he doesn't collect anything other than Mythics. I was like, whoa.
Oh, I missed that. Wow.
I
was
kind of shocked and stunned at that. Like,
well,
that's
I
good.
I have Stratos to get Mondo wise yet, just Stratos, and then really that's it. Other than Four Horsemen product.
So you kind of said once you really dug into the Horseman line, you're like, everything else is crap. I'm not buying anything else.
Armies of Ashmore. I'm doing armies, obviously.
Those are looking good.
But really, it's the legions. It's the Four Horsemen product. Matt Rods. I'm going to grab some independent stuff here and there to help support. Absolutely with that, but basically it's just Legion. So my top 10 would have to be a Legions list, basically.
That's okay. No, that I've noticed that a lot of people that I've talked to on this show are really, once they really dive in, this becomes 80-20. You know what I mean? It's like they really, and it's hard, but like social media, like I was just on Instagram and they're like, here's the new Supergirl figure, or here's the new Hot Toys. What's her name? I forget her name, but she was in Ahsoka.
Sabine.
Sabine. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, this figure.
Just canceled her yesterday.
I didn't know I wanted it until I saw it. And I'm like, this is an amazing, so it's so hard to, I love Mythics, but my wallet can only focus on so much, but there's all these amazing, you watch Trevor's show about the different Hot Toys or different figures that are coming out. And it's like, it's hard to ignore some of the amazing, like Brood of Realm, all these new toy lines and existing ones. It's hard to, ignore some of their amazing stuff that they've got going on.
Yeah, that's one of my goals in 2025. I have already started selling some stuff, and like I said, I just canceled that Sabine because I won't go into it because I know there's some people in the chat who will be like start to groan, but I didn't really love Ahsoka. Like, it wasn't really my cup of tea. But I loved Rebels, and I'm like, oh, I got to get all these figures. I got Chopper, but I don't know if I'm going to keep him. I don't know. We'll see. But there's a lot of 1/6 that I've gotten way too deep into lines like that I don't even care about. Like, I didn't like the prequels, but I've got like a whole shelf of prequel figures, and I'm like, why do I have these? You know what I mean? So I like Mythics. Like Mike, I admire that because like I would like to just focus on that, but now I like Monster Force and stuff.
Yes,
whatever. But it's you have to stop squirreling. You know what I mean? Like I have to anyway. Not if you've got unlimited space, you're great. Or if you're one of those people who can just put stuff in a bin and be happy with it, it's in a bin. I don't love doing that. You know what I mean? I've got some stuff like that, but I don't love it because like, why am I collecting it if it's in a bin?
Yes, absolutely.
So I got to focus, man. I may get rid of all my Black Series. I may get rid of a lot of Marvel Legends because I just love Mythics and now Cosmics, and Cosmics are overspilling the shelf that I have them on now. So
I think
there's more
Cosmics is getting better. Every wave just seems to be getting better and better and better. A lot of people might have been like, Tusk, I'm tired of Tusk, but they just their stuff, like it just, it's amazing. It did. They're again, they're soft goods, and they're, it's ramping up. I think.
Are you doing Cosmics, Mike? You're doing Cosmics, or no?
Me? Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh
I figured.
Yeah.
I
oh
thought,
god, yeah. I'm doing anything Horseman. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought so. Yeah.
Right on. Well, let's run through it, Mike. Do you have your list of your top 10 here?
Yeah.
Let's run through that.
Gotta find it here. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Okay.
All right. What you got, man?
Okay. Well, my number 10 is going to be the NtM Infantry. Number 10 figure. What about you? Are you gonna then go?
Yeah, we can do that. What was your thoughts when you saw NtM, Trevor? Like, what was were you like, this thing is gonna be hot? This thing is like, what's your personal...
Well, is that me? Oh, that's Greg. Okay. I never know when I'm like breaking up. I thought it was incredible, man. And I knew John from the Euro Legions would be very, very excited about this one. So
I saw that. I was sitting behind him.
Okay. Yeah.
You're good. You're good.
I don't know if you guys... Mike, move. Okay, yeah, Mike's moving. Greg's not moving. I'm just like freaking out. It's like, is that me? Can anybody hear me? I thought it was amazing, man. Like, I was very excited to open this up because I got, again, production figures when I get them to shoot. And so I'll always love that. That's always nice when you got a wave full of, resin,
actually
fragile. Yeah, so I love these guys, man. I love them. They're going to make, probably going to make my top 5. We'll see. You have to tune in on Monday.
We'll have to tune in.
That's great.
For sure. Yeah, I'm. So, do you kind of have your finger on the pulse of like what's going to be a hit or what's going to be, like when they ship you a box of this new whatever, you're going to be like, oh, this is going to be a banger right here.
I don't think I'm a good judge of that, honestly. Like, there's stuff that I look at and go, nah. Sir, what was Joe's design? And I hate to put this on.
Sir Andrew, I think.
Yeah, and I looked at that and I was like, maybe it was because I had already seen Gideon and some of the other Templar guys or something. I was kind of like, maybe it was him or maybe it was the other. Maybe it's the lighter blue. Who's that? Sir, the rich guy from the Necronominous wave. Anyway,
Aldrich or Enoch. Or
I was like looking at those, like I don't know, it's like the ornateness of it. I'm not sure if that's for me. I'm gonna like pose the hell out of them. Yeah, that was what it was. So like, but I mean, Andrew's very popular. Like, there's a lot of people who are looking forward to that the most in that wave in terms of the night. So I don't know. Maybe I don't always pick the right ones. I thought that the NtM would be like a big hit. I thought this guy was going to be a big hit when I saw him. I really thought this guy was going to be cool. And the Vikingfell, I love, like Mike, I love skeletons. So I thought Vikingfell was really, really cool. So
that is a great figure too, for sure. My number 10 is the Retail Monkey King.
The blonde.
I love the gold, the blonde or gold colored fur. Really resonated with me. I just thought this is a cool. I had the original one. I didn't get to open it. And then I saw this and it was just like, this is the one for me. So I love that they're doing that with retail, where it's like, it kind of gives you an alternate, like with the Red Death, you get a different kind of, and some might resonate with someone more than others,
To your point, and picking them, that's one that I saw that I was kind of like, I mean, I love that, shooting that first Monkey King so much. And I was expecting sometimes I don't ask. I was expecting like a snow monkey or something like that. Like, let's just go
way more
crazy. You know what I mean? And when I saw it, I was like, well, it's not really that different. But it was the same for me with the Headless Horseman. I'm like, okay, it's green, purple, but people love that one. People love the Marley one, seemingly the new one more. I love the original one, but people love the Marley one more. People love the monkey more. So I'm a bad judge. Apparently, I don't know.
Translucent legs for me, I was like, nah, I don't like.
I love that part.
It just bugged me. I don't know why, but everyone's different. You know what I mean? Yeah. So when they had this one, they're like, sorry, it's not glow in the dark. I'm like, I don't care. I just didn't want the translucent. So that they had it, regular. I was like, that's my Marley right there.
There you go.
Nice.
All right, Mike, number 8 or number 9, sorry.
Number 9, CC24, out of the Amazing Alien and Creature Creator pack. The Diego tribute figure would be my number 9. Predator or Predator-esque, you might say.
Yes.
Predator adjacent.
Yeah.
Yes.
It looks really cool. It's a really cool Cosmic Legion figure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a fun 2-pack for sure. Good stuff. And I love the repainted Magnus head. I think that was so cool.
Yeah.
So cool. It's just unexpected. It's like, whoa, but it looks good.
It's a great pack, man. The two that we got at Legion Con this year were really good. Really good.
That, yes, 100%.
They do so much with those.
Number 9 for me is Zende. They kind of were under the radar, both the Wizards for me, until I actually really kind of dug in and really looked at Samir and Zende, and opened them up and just, I don't know, played around with them. Like, I think fun factor and playability, even though I'm not out there, playing in the, in the grass with these figures, just, I don't know. I kind of, whenever I pick up a figure and it makes me feel like a kid again, like this figure would make me, take it to my grandma's house and play with it. When I feel like that, that's when I'm like, this is, and Zende was one of the figures. Ninian also would be one that, like, if I was a kid again, I would have that figure in my pocket and take it to, the doctor's office with my mom or whatever. So for me, the Wizard Zende was definitely one. The colors, I love the blue. You should definitely get out in the grass. Yes, I should. You're right, man. I should get out in the grass and get some stains on the tough skins again, and get out there and play for sure. I may not be able to get up. I might need some help.
Sandbox.
Yeah. But that's my number 9. I love the figure. I love the blue. I love the colors, and that's something huge for me. Is they are so goddamn good with picking their colors. I had asked Joe and Eric, like, how do you guys pick your colors? And they have different answers, but I know they try different shades, and I know a lot of times Eric might have a specific color in mind, which just leads to his genius. But their colors and the color combinations, like if I was drawing something out of the blue, I may not pick those colors, but for some reason with this figure or that figure, whatever their choices that they make, it really
and they're unusual like that. I agree with you. Like Zende is one of my favorite of the Wizards. But that rust brown and blue, like color theory wise, those work really well together. But it's not the first thing you might think of if you were like given a blank piece of paper, like one of Dusty's drawings or something. The color, you know what I mean? Like you might be like, well, I'll make his armor blue, and then I'll make this a shade of gold or something. You know what I mean? Like it can get a little stale, and they keep it fresh, man. That's really amazing. And
then you have Samir, which is my number 5. He also has a blue. You know what I mean? Which is kind of odd. Like if I was the photographer, I'd have been like, they've got 2 blue cloaks. Am I wrong? They both have blue, right?
I would say,
one's a lighter shade and one's a darker shade.
Yeah, but I would be like, that's an odd choice, and it's the same wave, and they're both blue cloaks.
Yeah,
But it works for me. Like I both think they're both amazing to me. I love the blues. I'm not even a blue. That's not my favorite color anywhere near. But like for them, it just works, and I love it. So, and
the temptation, not to jump in again, but the temptation is to, again, like faction wise, you look at Zylona's flock, and there are reused colors throughout there. There's that copper color, there's the gold, there's the greens, right? But they're all used in a different way, and not everybody has the exact same thing. I love that about when, I think that's what got me into Leodicius, is when they started coming out with the Arethyr wave, and it was like there was a kind of not a team uniform, but they all had that kind of red and gold. Before that, it was a little, I think when they started out, things were a little disparate, like, and now they've explained the Blue Knights being in with, Leodicius as being kind of under Otho, and, I love that, you know what I mean?
There's a lot of thought.
Yeah, and, the blue cloaks kind of feed into that, that faction, the colors in that faction, so, it kind of works, but then they break off and do something like that rust color. You know what I mean? So it's cool. It keeps it fresh, and it's not just like everybody in this faction has to have a blue armor or something like that. You know, it gets a little dull.
Chris says Zende was one of his favorites from that wave as well. Yeah, it's a good one.
You mentioned you can use that head with anything.
Yeah, it's a great one. All right.
Oh, I do love the vampires all being purple and black, though. Like,
yes, that is cool. That is cool. Yeah. I just wish we had different heads for the vampires. I wish they would change up the.
The heads pack gave us one. I think that we'll get more down the line too. So
they're just a little too batty for me. I want some pretty vampires. Lucretia's a good looking, but they're a little batty for me.
Well, with the Cacular coming out, the hyena, we're gonna get werewolves. Where are the werewolves going? Are they going to be the guards for the vampires? Or are they going to be part of Zylona's flock, being more elemental, more part of the earth? What do you guys think?
I could see those being part of the expansion of the world a little bit. You know what I mean?
There you go.
I could see them being something that's entered into it, and because vampires and werewolves traditionally don't get along too well. So I would say that they might be opposed, and they might just be their own thing. You know what I mean? Maybe part of another beast faction or something like that. Who knows?
Yeah. I'm really interested in the engineering. I can't wait for you guys to get those in hand and really, put it through its paces and really see, how it moves and how well it can pose.
I'll say this here. I've never said this before, but when I got these, and I had not heard anything about the double joints. And I've been not incredibly vocal, but just like defended the fact that, like, listen, they're pop and swap. Like, you can't take double jointed figures and just rip them apart like with Marvel Legends and things like that. So they have to keep them to a point where you can still do all that and not have them break. So when I saw those, I was like, it's really cool for posing, but I get posing out of these figures anyway that I want. But,
right.
And I was just like, I honestly, I didn't know how people were going to take it. And I talked to Jeremy about that. I was like, are they going to be are you going to use these with? And you can. Obviously, we all know now that you can. They're not going to be completely 100% compatible, pop and swappable with everything, but you will be able to take parts, pop and swap the forearms, pop and swap the so into different bodies and things like that. So they're still part of the line, just a little less, break-upable. But I was like, I don't know about this move,
it's
man.
bold.
I don't know.
That they're that this far into the line, that they've already established, their articulation and the engineering to do a whole nother type, 3.0. And the old. But I'm curious what Mike has to say about that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Trevor. Sorry.
No, I think they're smart, and people have said this, that there is competition now entering into this fantasy realm, a lot of it, and they're putting out more. Again, I don't need knights to move like Spider-Man. You know what I mean?
Yes,
like, I don't need that. They're in armor.
I totally.
But agree. I mean, but it's something like a hyena person or something like that, or a bare-legged soldier. Yeah, I might want like something like that. So I like it. I just didn't know how people were going to take it. But what did you think, Mike, when you saw it first off?
The first thing that pops into your mind is the pop and swap ability, because obviously this line is the Legos. Not only is the best action figure line on the market, but it's like Legos for the pop and swap, and I think that's for the customizing aspect of it. That's a huge bonus to this line. So my first thought was, how are the double joints going to work? Are these figures just going to be compatible with 3.0s? And I was thrilled to know that other than the knees and the elbows, you're going to be able to pop and swap these with 1.0 figures, and for that matter of fact, brute scale figures. So I was pleasantly surprised. I have high hopes for them. And listen, Jeremy said, we're trying new things. We're trying to move forward. And if this doesn't work, we have no problem with going away from it and starting fresh, going new, going
Mhm.
with what we have. So I think it's refreshing to try something new like this, and let's see what we got. I think it's going to be a hit because the pop and swap ability is there.
Mhm. I think the engineering, if they could have gotten it done ahead of time, I just think, again, we all know at this point that molds are expensive, and to create something new like this is a lot of back and forth and a lot of expense. But if, putting out something, let's say I don't know if it would have been the Ninian or something like that, but like something like that with the double joints just to get it out there and get people's feedback, I think they would have done that. But I think it's just much of an expense that they had to make it part of a wave. Who knows? Maybe, as happens while the wave is going on, now that they've got these molds, maybe they put something out early on that has the double joints that's like a one-off or something. You know what I mean? Like, who knows? Maybe Otho has double joints. I don't know.
Trevor, I see that maybe next year because you're not going to get these figures in hand, these 3.0 figures in hand for 2 years.
Till 2026, yeah.
Yeah, end of 2026, if we're lucky. So I think, why wouldn't they come out at Legion's Con next year with an example of this, like they did the Ninian, like they did the Knight, I can't even think, Valiant Knight.
The Valiant Knight, yeah.
Yeah. So that I could see them doing that.
Yeah, especially if they're going to solicit another wave that probably is going to include those, since they've already done the tooling and they're not ready to scrap the whole thing. I think they'd have to get a lot of bad feedback when they finally get out on the market to scrap it, and I don't think they will. I think a lot of people, and I think the wider world of action figure collectors, I see, we've seen this. I've seen it up close, but that a lot of people want more, and that is kind of a barrier for some people to get into it. I don't think they understand it. Again, we've said this many times, like when somebody gets one in hand, it's a whole different world. But I think they hold off from doing that because of the articulation, because some people are just used to Marvel Legends double joints and feel like it's limiting until you kind of get one in hand. But I mean, even that doesn't, and I think that's why the Valiant Knight did well. I think that kind of set, off like wildfire, because people who didn't collect them got them and like, damn, this moves really. This is great, So yeah. Anyway, guys, top 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a balance. What's your number 8?
Number 8 would be, we're going to the mystery. As I said before, this year was a little down for me on what I like. I'm anticipating Necronominus. I'm anticipating All-Star 6. I'm anticipating Rising Sun. So this was like a down year for me. So I'm diving into the mystery boxes, and to see Clavius reissued was big. I think that is a awesome figure, and a figure that wasn't out there. Very cool.
That helmet's beautiful. Beautiful helmet.
So it's Clavius.
I know, like, you're a Skelly guy. I love Skellies too. Like, it's one of my first loves of this line. It's the first thing I got. And I'm happy for Clavius. I know there's a lot of people, Hero Boys, who are not excited about Clavius, but I was Team Clavius, man. I had my better Red and Dead campaign going on the Cabal. I'm very happy to see Clavius.
Wait, Clavius. I'm thinking Clavius is the red skeleton.
No.
Clavian. Oh, I'm thinking Clavian. Okay, yeah.
Trevor confused me. I'm like, wait, I thought we were talking about the Gladiator.
You're right, Clavius. I was thinking Clavian. Yep.
But Trevor, I want Clavian bad too. So when we get,
it's early, man. I haven't had enough coffee.
It's all right. No worries. No worries. You made me doubt myself, though. I was like, wait, I thought we were talking about the Gladiator.
Not to mention, it's a bad choice to make those so close together.
Maybe so, for sure.
Both
great figures. I look forward to having Clavius as well.
Clavius is great.
Clavian. I have Clavius. Clavian. I don't have.
Yeah. So I can't wait for that. That's going to be.
And that's why I was really stoked for the mystery boxes, because the newer fans, it gives us an opportunity to have a Snag or a Calavius or
Calavius one was one I was missing as well. I was really happy with that mystery box wave, man. That was really really
that's huge. Adding one of those figures to your collection as a completist for $37 instead of $300.
Oh, dude, especially, I mean, again, it's like you can get the gold. I already bought the old gold skeleton, but you can get a gold skeleton, for $37 or $40 or whatever, instead of, because that's such a basic figure to go and buy. You know what I mean? Or Sir, what was it? Sir Galeron? Not Sir Galeron. Sir. Who's the Templar? Basically the Templar, but with a red
Sir Godfrey.
Sir Godfrey. Oof, that was a hard one to swallow when you saw the eBay prices. Right? You know what I mean? It was like, damn, I just need to buy a plume and I'll have a Sir Godfrey.
Right.
But that was nice to get him and actually have Sir Godfrey on the shelf. So that was cool.
Yeah, absolutely. My number 8 is the Ghost of Christmas Past. I'm really, I think it's a phenomenal figure. And I don't mean this in a negative way. I feel it's kind of basic. But I think it's done well. I love the 2.0, the way that they're doing the female bodies now. It articulates well. It's beautiful. Same thing with Bastet. She's also on my list. They just are just upping themselves when it comes to the 2.0 figures. So I think Ghost belongs on my list of top figures of the year.
I gotta say, now everybody knows I'm not big on the females whatsoever, especially the 2.0. But it's a beautiful figure. It is
luminous,
beautiful figure. Same with Bastet, beautiful figure. And now Neve, for me, if you give me that 1.0 female build, I can't wait for that figure. I cannot wait. Throw some Brad Pauldrons on her, and she's gonna be rocking.
Yeah, I'm glad that they. I'm glad that they. And Jeremy every once in a while will say, like, this was our biggest pre-order. They don't really go into the business side, which is fine. I don't need to know, but it's interesting. Like, I'm glad that the female figure, is being embraced by the community, and they're answering. They're having different body types, and they're upgrading. So, like, a lot of times people are saying the 2.0 female, like, it doesn't stand well, and I'm like, I'm with you. Like, I agree. Lady Averona, Ragna, they fall over. I got to get stands for them. They're great figures, but so now it's nice that with the 2.0 females, they're having better feet. So going forward, so they're adjusting, and they're making their female figures better.
I'm just going to defend my females for a minute, because I like the females, but any female figure, like the Marvel Legends are much worse. If you've got any of those, you have to have them on stand, because I have a Cascade almost every week in my Marvel Legends, because the stands don't hold them up very well. But I found that most of these with a stand up pretty well if you got them balanced with a staff in the hand or something like that. But I get it, and I know, Mike, I know that's why you don't like.
Well, I late 70s, early 80s, all you had was Princess Leia and Tila. So it was all about the big buff dudes battling it out and all that. So that's where I think that's plus Fastia. I mean, God, oh my God.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, do you want my 7?
Muscle mommies. That's a good one. Mike going for the muscle mommies.
Well, my number 7 is going to surprise you, because I told you I didn't like the 2.0s. But I'm going to throw at number 7 the Undead of Vikingfell, because it is a skeleton, and it takes me back to the Advent of Decay way on Big Bad Toy Store, when they had all those for sale. Now, I wasn't around for the Advent of Decay wave itself, but the Big Bad Toy Store purge that they had all those, I was there for. And it is a phenomenal figure, and it comes loaded.
Yeah, Absolutely.
It's got that nice bone color too. I loved the 2.0 skeletons when they first came out. I bought a ton of them. But I never really liked the color of the paint on them, and I've always wanted to repaint a few of them. I don't want to repaint all of them, but like I love that. That's why I bought so much of the Undead of Vikingfell, because I think it's going to take the place on the shelf of a lot of those.
Yeah,
there's a lot of options. You know, you can. It comes with 3 different heads, so you know you can really army build if that's your thing. Like my buddy Brett.
Use the bodies from the old ones if you want that armor, you know, and just swap out the arms and legs and stuff. So.
Now, did you have any issues, Mike, with it being a 2.0 as opposed to 1.0?
No, well, I'd much rather have seen it as a 1.0. But listen, you have to have variety on your shelf. You have to have that variety. So I'm it's wonderful. And it stands fine.
Oh yeah,
it's a good figure. And like what Trev said, probably one of my favorite 2.0 figures from the past is probably that Advent of Decay Skeleton Warrior.
Oh man, I love that. I love that.
2.0. So
it's the bigger feet. It's the I don't know. I guess maybe they have like less weight on the top of them that helps hold them up. The feet help a lot. I mean, there's nothing you can do with some of the women. You don't want them to have giant feet,
right?
But hey, you know, elves and ladies got to turn undead too, so you got to have your 2.0 skeletons.
Yeah, right there.
I turned mine into a
woman.
As a
yeah. See, there you go. Yeah.
The
oh my God,
skeleton soldier. Yeah, I just took the Thrace.
Yes. Oh my God, does that match really good?
Oh yeah, perfectly.
That looks really good. Shit.
Yeah, and I didn't really do anything else. I just took the arms and put the arms on her chest piece, and yeah, it works great.
So, now it always kind of bothered me. I will just say this: it looks great, but first of all, that's not armor; that's like leather, right? So, like, even with the armor, like, I get it in fantasy that you'd have like breasts built into the armor, I suppose. Yeah, I knew you were going there. And people like said, well, why would a skeleton have breasts? But the armor was built, but that's leather, and like what is padding that up under there, Greg?
Basically,
like, what's going on? What's happening? What kind of weirdness is going on there, Greg?
Hey, what I do with my toys
and the boobs, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's the only way to differentiate, I guess, between skeletons is that chest you know. Yeah. But yeah, I loved the skeleton soldier, and so I thought it was cool little.
That is a cool top as well.
But thanks for bringing that up, Trevor. I appreciate that. Man.
Yeah, now you're gonna you're gonna toss that right up in the.
Yeah, I like the bone boobies.
bone boobies.
My number, what were we at? 7. My number 7 is Kalian Shun. Kalian Shun, really like whoa, like what was the name of the girl from the first wave? The second wave.
That was
Ziri. I really loved Ziri, but Kalian Shun really like blew it out of the water. The colors, I liked Ziri's the pictures that were taken. I liked the poncho kind of thing, but when I had it in hand, I'm like, I didn't really understand how it worked. And so it was kind of a downer to me that the soft pieces didn't really work as well as I wanted them to. I thought it was going to be a basic poncho, but with Kalian Shun, I really like how it's done. Like, I think it's cool that Jessamine is not doing like just like basic, you know, it's a jacket or it's a poncho. It's like there's no rules. So with Cosmic, it's like whatever, you know, spacey, you know, they're not following the regular conventional, you know, functional whatever. It's like they're doing.
I love that. It's
cool, you know, and I think with Kalian Shun, they really knocked it out of the park. And then with these new waves of Cosmics, they're soft goods. I mean, the 4 Horsemen figures are amazing, but you know, the soft goods can make it go from a 10 to like a 17. You know what I mean? Because the soft goods can really sell the figure for me. So Kalian Shun.
Greg, did you get her? Do you have her?
I do.
Okay, because I know you weren't big into the Cosmic line.
Yeah, I jumped in when it first started, and then it kind of it kind of stalled for me a little bit. Like I liked it, but I kind of was at that crossroads where you were, like, where I'm like, I need to focus on something a lot more exclusively. So a lot of the other toy lines, like Mafex, Hot Toys, Storm Collectibles, Super 7, Fig Arts, Loose Collector, a lot of these toy lines I still love and I still adore, but I'm getting less. And so same thing with Cosmic. I'll just cherry pick with Cosmic, where Mythics, a lot of it, I'm all in for 90% of it. Cosmic, I'm more cherry picking. So long answer, sorry. But yeah, I did pick her up and I do adore that figure.
Well, I got at number 6, Anubis.
Anubis is a good one.
Yeah.
I love that they did the Egyptian gods thing, and I was so happy that they said they were going to continue. I don't know if it was in response to how well it was received, or but I think it was that 2-pack is amazing.
I think it's something that Eric wants to do. I think that, again, that's like the FO thing, right? It's like it's got to sell too. So I guess if nobody was interested in it when it came out, they wouldn't be continuing with it. But I'm glad they are. I think they can do some amazing stuff with it. I noticed you left Bastet out of that though, Mike.
I did.
What do we? Got to have an intervention with Mike and the females, man. Like I got to figure out what's going on here.
Me and Mike are so opposite. Like,
show me on the 2.0 where it hurt you, Mike.
You give me any Tila. You give me Tila all day long. That's my female action figure, but that's all I need. That's all I need.
I
don't care about.
I bought the 2-pack and sold Anubis before I opened it and traded for another Bastet. So I have 3 Bastets and no Anubis. So that's how opposite me and Mike are. We're still great. We're cool, but we're so different in that. You know what I mean? Like, I would have been like, Mike, I'll take that Bastet off your hands if you're not interested. Because I just...
I have Bastet on my shelf. So
I love the figure, but Anubis, I was like, meh. But I think, I mean, it's a beautiful figure, but that's just how different we are in that, I love the female figure.
I'm glad for people like Mike because I collect the test shots of a lot of the female figures, so it's just they're less money because there's a lot of people that just don't like. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I won't be going for those. Oh my, is that Mara Golden Branch?
That's Fallon.
The Fallon Prospect.
Oh wow, that's one I don't have, Greg.
Well, if I end up being homeless or need a car payment, I will.
Oh, is it going to come to that? Really? Okay, I thought maybe we could trade or something. But geez, all right, I don't wish that on you, for God's sake. I couldn't even look at it in my collection if I knew Greg. I had to buy it because Greg was homeless.
I'd love their test shots. I'm hoping that that's not something that they, because it's been a while. It's been like 2 years since their last, I think, test shot sale. So hopefully,
yeah,
that's something. I don't know why they would wait that long.
Yeah, I'm looking forward with the Egyptian gods to the crocodile god. What's his name? I think that will be the next one. Let me try to look at
that canary one. I think would be cool too. It's like Isis or someone or Osiris.
Is it Sobek or? I think it's Sobek, right?
Sobek, yeah. Sobek. Yep. That's going to be interesting.
Trevor, have you ever checked out Xesray? Those are, man.
Yeah, the Xesray figures are great. It's one of the things I'm purging because I got a bunch of those to begin with. Okay. Yes, Greg?
Yes.
Yeah, I got a bunch of the first wave of those, and I like them. They look great. I just don't do anything with them, and it's coming down to stuff that like I just want to photograph and just don't have sitting on the shelf for no reason. So
yeah, we'll chat.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have the females though. I had one of the females and I sold it. So
okay,
but I have the males from the first one. Yeah.
Do you have the trainee? He's got like green.
What's his name?
I don't think he has a name. He's just trainee gladiator.
No, I don't think I have that guy. I don't think I have that. That wasn't wave 1. I don't think. I don't know.
Yeah. Send me a message of what you got, and we'll.
Okay. Are you guys down to number 5?
I know we're taking our sweet time. I'm sorry.
Or are you still at 6, Greg?
I'm at 6. I'll just go
do
quick.
6, and then I'm going to jump out because you guys do the top 5. I'll continue watch, but we're doing the top 5 tomorrow morning.
Yes,
not tomorrow morning. Tomorrow night. I don't know what time it is. Christmas has got me all messed up.
Right.
But I gotta get some breakfast. Actually, I'll duck out now that I'm talking about it.
Okay, man. We appreciate you so much, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I just want to point out, you can go on the Cabal. There is a form that you can fill out for yourself. That's not going to enter into our results. We're doing live results tomorrow night. I hope this works. But you're going to be able to pick your top 5 live as we go along with our guests and lay out our top 5. Awesome. So the form that I posted on there is just for your use, for everybody's use. It used to be where we polled everybody, but it's going to be a lot easier to do it this way. I won't have to do calculations and figure out.
Is that top 5 for the year?
Top 5 there's a top 5 overall of Legion of Cosmic and Mythic, and then there's the top Cosmic, the top Mythic, and then the top special edition figure, which would be anything from the Legion's Con to the figure Obscura to the Skeleton Legion Builder 2, Fisher Rice, things like that. So yeah, keeping it kind of simple.
All right, my friend. Thank you so much.
All right, guys.
I appreciate you jumping on.
All right. See you guys.
Have a good one.
See you, Jeff.
What a good guy.
Remember?
That dude's the best.
Yeah.
He's so
talented too, man. Talented. Number 6.
Number 6, baby. Let's do it. Did I do mine already, or you?
You were waiting on your number 6.
Oh, sorry. Gaspar the Unamused.
Oh, yeah.
Was I just I love the human form, like the figures that, like, don't get me wrong, I love knights. That's like my favorite, but making these guys with their, is he reachable? Yeah. Them finally doing like just skin, like
good look on him, the brother.
I just love it. You know what I mean? And I use the word basic again, like I used it with Ghost, but I don't mean that in a negative way. Like when a figure is this raw and stripped down without any of the extra accoutrements, you really get to see the sculpt, the articulation, just how well it's made and how well it's sculpted. And this figure for me it's stripped down. I don't have anything really extra on him. And I love this. This is one of those figures that I always look at on my shelf. And I think it's so damn cool. And I love the soft goods. I mean, he came with a lot of good soft goods, but this one I kept, kind of bare just because I wanted to show the chest and the arms together. I'm loving these wraps that they've been doing. Since Varg, and then Skullman had them too. I love the wraps. Tharnog is one of my favorite figures too. So yeah, this figure really it hit it out of the park for me. I really love this figure.
Nice. Well, I got at 5 Arakagor.
Oh man.
Tribute to Kara. I believe it's Kara. Chris's Garwich's daughter. Arakagor, the dragon, the paint job on that dragon. We got Scourge. So we have the dragon already in, but the paint job, oh wow.
Yes.
Cameron killed that.
Yeah. I think Arakagor is on many people's lists as one of the best overall. Like I would say, if you were gonna buy a figure to try and lure someone into Mythics, that would be on the list of figures that I would send to someone to try and get them into the line. Like if it's like, send me the best figure, and if I love it, then I will start buying it. Arakagor would be on that list of figures that because I when I first saw it, I was like, that's a cool figure, but I was not really, it didn't strike me as I need to have it. At ZoloCon, Colin didn't get to go, Colin Culp, and he said, "Hey, can you pick me up one?" I was like, "Sure, buddy." And then I guess as a contingency, he asked Dr. Brent also to pick him up one, which he did. And so I said, "Hey, Colin," that night, I'm like, "Hey, I got your Rakagor." And he's like, "Well, Brent got me one. I'll buy this one from you too." And I was like looking at it, and I'm like, you know what? I'll hang on to it because the paint, the articulation, the sculpting is top tier.
Yes, it is. It is. What about you, my friend?
Man, amazing. Number five is Samir. Which I'm sure it wouldn't be on a top 5 list for anybody, but there's just something about him that I like. I kind of like, I'm not a huge lore person. I love their lore. I respect it. But like for me, I was like making a story in my head. Like, this guy is not flashy. He doesn't need to be like Arzak and have like all these, saying I'm evil. I've got the black robe and I've got these pauldrons that are spiky and I've got like the bushy eyes and the red. I don't need that. Like, Samir is a badass without having that, like the cars that, and what are they called? It's called something where you have an old car, but underneath that hood is something strong and powerful. And so people are judging it by appearance. Samir is just a basic old dude in a robe, but you don't know what he has underneath. That's like these old beater cars that you go to at the red light. It may look like a beater, but underneath them, it's got some power. And that's what Samir is to me. He's got that, that like unassuming, he looks just like a regular dude in robes, but man, you never know. This guy could be, a super powered wizard. So
nice. I know Samir and Arzak. They don't quite do it for me because of the 2.0 build. The armor underneath the soft goods, but the soft goods are unbelievable. The head sculpts are unbelievable.
Soft goods sell it, yeah, because underneath, same like it's basically like the Santa Claus figure, the Father Christmas.
Yes,
it's like an elf body, so it's like, I don't look at it, like I wouldn't have him without his robes, because if you had him without his robes, it's like, what is he? He's got a cool head sculpt with great soft goods, but the body underneath is like kind of plain. So yeah, I agree with you on that part for sure.
Okay, I guess number 4 here. I actually have 11 on my list. I screwed up. Number 4 is Azza Hazar.
Okay.
If you ever take Azza Hazar and put a black light on that dude, oh my God, what a paint job! Plus, he's Azar and Zazar put together.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely at number 4 for me.
Visually, man, that figure, it really shines. Like, it's got so much. It's one of those like shelf presence figures. He's bigger than the others. He's got all these effects and fire coming. You can put the thing in his hand with the fire and all that stuff. Yeah. He's got the cloven hooves. Like, that figure, even if you didn't collect any other figures, that figure would shine on your shelf. Yep. And then maybe you have a little blue light thing going on it, overhead. You hit the lights and you see that. Yeah, it's. Juan says, I wish Four Horsemen decided to use the same paint in a 1.0 body. The serpent body for me, Dragon Seers.
Oh, shoot. Let's see here. I think he's talking. Yeah, the Dragon Seers. So he's talking about the paint job on the Rakagor on a 1.0. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be cool for sure. Like, are you talking about like a Ninian, or? I'm not sure what he was.
Yeah. The serpent body for more Dragon. Yeah, well, he's talking about using the serpent body for, and then a new.
Oh, I see.
Your 1.0 head sculpt in those paint colors to make it 1.0 Dragon Seer. Yeah.
What was your thought on the serpent body? Did you were you liking that, or?
I think it looks cool visually just to see it. It's going to depend on how it moves.
Mm-hmm.
And the playability on it.
Right. Explosibility,
playability. I got two of him.
Yeah.
With Basilia, so we'll see. He obviously did not make this list because he's not in our hands yet. But I think, lots of potential there. Yep.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how that snake body articulates.
Yes.
And I know they have some around their studio and they were playing with them and stuff.
And
I would love to have it in hand. And
yeah, ultimately they're not going to know how it fully articulates until they get a production sample in. Because obviously your resin you only can do so much with.
Right.
Yeah.
So number 4 is Bastet. Bastet was just, I loved it. I loved that it was more of a skin. You got the legs, the bare legs and the bare arms, other than the bracelet on her arms, and the wrapped chest part. I think, and I'm not really a customizer. I'm not really a pop and swap. I do like pop and swap a little bit more. But I just saw potential. Same thing with the Ghost of Christmas Past. Was with that body, you can make all new, things. So I think with pop and swapping and stuff, when you have more options, you're going to be able to let your imagination go even more wild. So I think with Bastet, it was a good indicator of, what's to come, but also it's it was a good choice on their part to give us more of the bare skin figures. So yeah, and it was a cool cat lady too. So
yeah. Let's see here. My number 3, I think we're on. No. Yeah, number 3. Poxus. 1.0 figure, one of the gods, and everything he comes with. He's just a good-looking figure. Being a lich, I believe that's what he is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Poxus.
Do you display him with the horse, or is he by himself?
Yeah, he's with Phlogus, but he's not on Phlogus. Mm-hmm. He's in front. All my gods are standing in front of their horses.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that they have the horses. I know it's kind of, the 4 horsemen, but I love that they made the horses as well, because it makes them so damn cool. Like they look good on the shelf when you got all the horsemen on their horses or next to their horses. It's just, man, so cool. Yeah, I love the mounts though. I love all the horses and stuff. My number 3 was Frankenstein's creature.
Oh wow!
I really loved that body. I thought the body was just so good. I said it on a previous show. I hope that they use that body, maybe without the stitching, but I hope that they use that for future maybe Egyptian god figures. Because I think there was like a thing, like people were asking, what scale is this? What scale is it? And it's kind of like a cross. He's a little bit taller than Tharnog, I think. So he's a little bit taller than the regular brute scale.
Thin brute scale character. Yeah. It brings a lot of parts.
Yes.
To to the library. He was my number 2. So we can get my number 2 out with your number 3. And the amount of stuff they come with. Mm-hmm. The Dio stuff. But what really got it for me is what you said, those new dimensional parts.
Yes.
You have a thin brute scale character. You can put all that on a 1.0 figure.
Yeah.
It brings a lot to the table.
Yeah. And I know it's expensive, but I love seeing new tooling, new sizes to the characters. Like they did with Nieve, they did a 2.0 female, so now they have 1.0 and they have 2.0. Now they've got the Frankenstein creature tooling, so they can do different sized brute scale. You know what I mean? Like there's different dimensions and sizes Not everyone is the same size, and so finally they're getting around to having, different sized characters.
What they can do with new figures now
makes it even richer.
Make really odd I can't even think about combinations.
Yes.
I mean, even look at the Cosmic. If you take the little goofy kind of alien from the Ox Crew wave, you take his real thin arms and put him on another character, man, you have a whole different character.
Yeah. I did that. I did that with the engineer body. I took the Altair, the tall gray alien. I put the calves on the engineer body and made her kind of a taller, lankier kind of figure. I think Joe Suter had did that a while back, but it changes the body type. You know what I mean? It makes it a different, than just the average figure. It makes it a little bit different, a little bit lankier, and gives it more, more originality, I think. So I think with the Frankenstein's creature, it adds more. It makes it a richer library, I think, for sure.
Number two
was the Armory for me.
Okay.
I know it's existing parts. It's all existing parts, but it's new paint. I just adore making the knights. I love knights. It's probably my favorite figure type, I guess, other than females. If they could make female knights more, I would.
You might
get all my money.
Here. You might get that next.
I'm hoping so. Like a female Valiant Knight, I've been crying about it. I was one of the lucky ones to get another deluxe builder set that was a female, that they made an ode to in the blue shield, the blue and the yellow chest piece. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I was lucky enough. They had a warehouse find at the Legions Con this year, and I grabbed one.
So next year, I believe they will have the female knights, and I believe, you know how they made the mistake on the Gorwitch body, where they had the $10 parts, the bear parts. I could see them doing a pack like that for the females.
Yes. Yeah, just make a 2.0 chest, a knight chest.
Something like that, yes.
And I thought for sure that I saw that, because like when they unveiled the Ashes of Agamemnon and they had the blue shield soldier with all the parts, I'm like, is that a chest piece? Is that a female chest piece? And if they would have added that, like, it would have been insane, because you could have male and female 2.0, or 1.0. I mean, I'm sorry, not 2.0, 1.0. A 1.0 female chest piece, a knight chest piece.
So we'll see what the armory experience is not going anywhere. So it is going to remain a staple because it was such a success this year.
It was a blast.
So we'll see where they go with it next year.
Yeah, I had so much fun. How many did you build?
I got 4.
That's what I did. I did 4.
One of each color. And I made them like a team. So they're the exact same build, basically, with different colors. My number 1, Greg, I'm going to have, because I messed up, I had 11. I'm going to have a 1B.
There you go.
1A.
That's okay.
So 1B, we're going back to the mystery boxes. And of course, Bro Man is going to be my 1B, Brother M, Brother Mandibulus.
Man, that's a great one.
Yes.
He might be my 1B also. I forgot about it.
Okay, let's do it. 1B.
I think I'm a skeleton man, dude, because 1B is Mandibulus and 1 is Skullman. Is that's
awesome.
So I think right here, I think I'm saying I'm a skull guy. I think Brett's gonna be happy about that.
Brother Mandibulus has so much lore to him. He was probably one of the big early figures. He was probably the best figure from Advent of Decay. I would say. He has so much to do with the congregation of Necronomicus. I'm going to let my dog in real quick. But why is Brother or why is Skullman? What about Skull that really does it for you?
That's a great question. I don't really know what it was. This is like my sixth retail, or no, sixth exclusive. I think I've got like 5 or 6 of these.
Oh my!
And then I was lucky enough to grab the retail one at Legion's Con. I don't know what it is. I love the soft goods. I love the throwback to it being the was it Remco, the old style He-Man type figures. Why do you think the Skullman, the retail, was so limited? Like, it was like boom, it sold out. It was 1 per person, and it was done. Like, what do you think the reason for that was?
I think it was a ZoloCon exclusive. So they didn't make a lot of them. I mean, on their website, on Store Horseman's website, it was gone like in 2 minutes.
Yeah, I was lucky. I grabbed one on the in stock sale.
I got one off of the ZoloCon website. Actually, I got 2, and I gave one to Brad, and then I picked another one up real quick with the Skeleton Legion Builder 2.
Yeah.
So, it went fast. I think it's simply because of ZoloCon. So that taught me that I had to get a ZoloCon exclusive figure. I got it right off of their website. And what was he called this year? It's the
Headhunter.
Like Headhunter. Yeah. And hopefully I can pick up another one in a beginning of whenever they do the in-stock sale for that.
Yeah.
Can you go with your number one? I gotta let her out.
Yeah, you're fine. No problem.
I'm gonna let her out to go potty real quick, just out in the yard.
Mine's sleeping right here. So yeah.
Okay. So Skullman was your what?
Number one. Yeah, but I can expand. You're fine. Go ahead.
I'll be right back.
Brother Mandibulus, which was Mike's 1B, is just a beautiful figure. If people don't have that figure, you could probably find it at a reasonable price, maybe $60 or something. Hey, Bracky. What a great figure. Brother Mandibulus is just a super cool figure. I'm looking forward to the new Beast Warriors Headhunter figure. I don't know if it glows in the dark or not. Did they say that this new Headhunter glows in the dark?
I don't know, but man, can you imagine the Scare Glow customs?
Oh man, for sure.
Oh my God.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
Obviously, this is how they're going to do a Scare Glow tribute for PowerCon tribute. Oh my! Now, what's this guy's name?
This is Nova. She's my girl.
Okay.
At my feet, I've got Brocky, the boy, brother and sister here. They must be like, it's time to go outside. So I probably have to maybe wrap the show up. Pretty soon here.
We're on the 3-hour mark here. I'll give you mine, and then we'll wrap it.
Sure.
Of course, the number one figure of the year that we got in hand, Skeleton Legion Builder 2. Naked skeleton. Give that to me any day of the week. And
what a figure, man! What a figure! So much fun to pose. Dub, I was going to also mention that me and Dub, especially Dub, had bought a bunch of the exclusives for friends. So if you want either me or Dub to pick you up one, we're both going to ZoloCon. So let me know, Mike. I don't mind picking you up one.
Now, are you guys allowed to get more than one of those?
Yeah, they're kind of, I think they're doing it a little bit different now. I think online you can only buy one, Dub, if you want to clarify. But when you're there, I don't think there's a limit. There wasn't a limit last year either. But last year I was able to, once you buy your VIP ticket and your Skull Man, then you would be able to buy multiples and then just print out the paper that you have saying I bought 14, and then you show up with a paper and then they give you 14. But now I think you have to actually just buy one and then have your VIP, and then you go to the show, and then they have like an unlimited you can buy.
And you said you're going?
Yes.
Oh wow. Then I'm going to take you up on that. I would like an extra one of those.
Sure. Yeah, you and Brad. I got you guys.
Awesome. And then I'll just pay you the money. Yep. Cool. Awesome. Well, what a show, man. What a way to start off Sunday.
Let's see here. We got Dirk, you're going to Zolo, and sure am. Right on. And then it's going to be a mini Legions Con for sure. Only no flu. Man, I sure hope so. Did you catch anything at Legions Con?
Not a thing.
Nope. You're too healthy, man. You're too healthy.
I don't know about that, but
oh man, everyone I talked to got sick.
When the only con I'm going to this year is Legions Con, obviously because PowerCon is not in Ohio, technically not happening. It's Toy Atlanta, and I can't go to Mesquite Con because of work. But at Legions Con this year, it's going to be a party because I'm going to be this close to retirement. You're going to see a happy man.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be through it. Oh my God.
Imagine Legions Con. We didn't even get to talk about that. We'll have to do it next time. Hush. Yeah. We'll have to do it next time. But man, I had a great time at Legions Con. Man, that was epic. Great seeing everybody. But we better wrap it up. We're knocking on 3 hours.
Yep. It was fun. Thank you so much for having me.
Man, I had so much fun. People in the chat, you guys, thank you so much. I would love to have people hop on like Trevor did earlier. And add or help the conversation move. If you guys have stuff to add, always happy to talk to people and have them on the show.
This live thing is awesome.
Love different points of view. Love the conversation. But yeah, thank you so much, dude. I really, really appreciate you being on, and thank you for everyone.
Yeah, and I've wanted to get on the show. We've talked about it, and it just worked that a live one was perfect, and we got it done. We
worked it out. Yeah. But I'd love to have you on again, and I'll hit up Brad, and we'll do some more talking for sure.
Okay, bud.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. That was the end of the first New to Mythics live show every other Sunday. So we will see you guys in a few weeks. This Tuesday will be Diego is returning, and he's going to be talking about the figure Obscura, which dropped already. Everyone has it now, so it's not really a scoop anymore, but happy to talk to Diego again. We've got some great episodes already in the can. I talked to Brad from Four Horsemen about the documentary that he filmed. Looks like my fiance's home. And then also talked to Chris. That was a great conversation. A lot of good conversations coming up. What's you guys' next episode going to be about?
We got Recon Rage coming up. And
talk about healthy. That guy.
Oh my God, man. Let me pull up real quick here.
Yeah.
And let's see.
Yeah, I think he was so me and Bill Janowski and Jared and Recon were in the car. Like Bill had given us a ride from intern to back to the hotel, and Recon's like, "Hey, any of you guys want to work out, in the mornings, let us know." And we're all like crickets, like but seemed like a great guy. I don't know him, but
Blake is.
Seems like an awesome dude for sure.
And that is on the 7th.
Okay.
So not this coming. We because the holidays landed
Yes.
right on, the Legion's Lair night, we shut it down for 2 weeks, and then we'll start season 4 up on the 7th. And real quick, we are on episode 83.
Wow,
We
dude.
will hit 83 or 84. We will hit 100 episodes in August. So we'll hit the 100 episode mark, little over halfway through the year.
That's awesome. Congratulations, man. What a great show. Check these guys out. Brad and Mike, Legion's Lair.
Legion's Lair official on YouTube.
Every other Tuesday, right?
Subscribe. We need the subscribers. We need to get to 500. If we get to 500, then super chats will definitely help us out to keep the show rolling.
Absolutely. Yeah. Go look for that show. Subscribe. It's a great show. A lot of fun. You get to hear Schwarzenegger talking all the time. Just good fun, man. Great guests. Definitely a fan. That's one of my top favorite shows. So thank you so much, Mike. I appreciate your time, man. And thanks again for the people that hung out and stayed for the conversation. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.